Ooh, you
I'm not.
are?
I don't hear an echo.
I don't hear an echo either.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. No, awesome. Thank you. No, that was great. Okay. So, yeah, we're gonna start literally right where we left off. So Sebastian was up here, and he's now making his way down to basically cross. He does ask everyone before he leaves if you guys need help with access from his boat. There's a problem though. There's too many people, obviously. Not everyone's gonna be able to fit on this boat. Yeah. And it's a matter of fact, I mean, it's easily like short enough that everyone, if they had to, could swim without risking their life.
You don't want
There just
to.
have to be rest. Yeah.
Chris, just a heads up, I don't think I have a miniature.
Oh, here, let me.
Or do I? Hey,
Okay. All right. That's fine. Um. Oh, you know what, Pan? That's what it is. I was using that as a makeshift pan. I have something probably, but hold on. Yeah. But hold on. Yeah, let me get you guys miniatures back. As a matter of fact, we'll do them. Is everyone going to make their way towards town? Because if so, I'll put the new guys on the other side, so you make it a little easier on you.
Yeah.
Is it like the new day, like we finished the long rest and Sebastian came back, or is this the same?
No. So this is that's actually a good point. So no, he has literally just left to go to the other side. It's going to be on what you guys decide to do. If you're going to go ahead and like camp out here, that's perfectly fine. And then I will put your miniatures here. So
Um,
um,
if Sebastian is still there, Theo will ask him if he could come at sunrise the next day, and some people are probably bound to want to go into town, but she thinks it'd be best for us to take the evening and enjoy being not in a tomb.
yeah, no, and he'll definitely. So he'll actually address you directly, CEO, and he'll say, "Oh yeah, I'll come back tomorrow if you guys need help coming back to the island, or just want me to come back in general. Sure."
Right. I think that would be best. We've been away for some time, so I think just an evening to ourselves would be restful. But we are more than happy to look into our issues within the town if you'll come back and fetch us in the morning.
Great. No, yeah, of course.
I'm gonna go fish.
Like with your mouth, or do you have like a pole?
Within an hour, I can make any kind of tool. So I'm just gonna while I was resting, I'll just make a fishing pole, and then I'll go sit off a rock and fish.
Yep. Yep.
Should I make a check?
No, I mean in this case you don't need to. Um, yeah, it's okay. It's okay to not make a check on the mundane item like that.
Get some dinner for us, some fresh fish.
Yep. Yeah, so I assume that you're just taking some material from the beach itself, and then little bits of metal that you have, fashioning them into a hook, and go through and create a fishing pole.
Well, I can magically create any tool.
Gotcha.
So I was making a proper fishing pole, and I was just gonna go fish off a rock and try to get
Gotcha.
dinner for everyone, and just sit and kick my feet in the water and be happy.
Yeah. Tia will probably join Erasmus for maybe 45 minutes, and then she'll rejoin the group wherever we decide to make camp in this ruined old fort.
Yep.
I also mini belly, Chris.
Yeah, go ahead and so fishing actually has its own thing. So go ahead and first and foremost, give me an active perception check.
Uh, 16. My passive is 18 though.
That's fine. All right. Go ahead and go that says so you've looked around. Go ahead and give me your survival check. This is the actual fishing.
Can Cio give him guidance?
Natural 20.
Never mind,
Awesome.
you don't need it.
All right. So you sit down and you basically catch you get 3 or 4 bites right away. Just do you can decide to do a strength check on these fish or a dexterity check on the fish. This is just different ways that you're basically pulling them out of the water, and it depends on what you get too. It's up to you. You think the most efficient way fishing, especially since you're an expert at this, would probably be to do a dexterity check to go through these
Yeah,
and finesse your way through instead of just yanking them out of the water.
could
But-
Cio help? Like she tries to, I try to, she tries to, give a little bit of muscle life, finesse it. She just pulling on the line. When there's like a bunch of fish and someone like helps you grab the rod.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I will also ask for that guidance now as I try to dex check this.
Yeah, she'll put her hand on your shoulder, give you guidance, and also help like pull the fishing rod in.
$12.
All right. Yeah. The first fish is relatively small. It's only around 9 inches. You're really familiar with this fish. It looks similar to a carp. It's something that you can definitely eat, but it's only going to be a meal enough for yourself, maybe a little bit for another person. Um, uh, but you're able to catch it pretty easily. And where is your character, Erasmus? Where are you right
Right
now?
next to Cio's. I don't have a mini. It just vanished.
Oh, okay, hold on. That's fine. Let me get you one. Hold on.
Would it be possible for while Seal's holding, when I get on the line and Seal's holding the rod, I just create Mage Hand, and when I see it's on the, just snap it out of the water with Mage Hand? I
Yeah,
can
of
carry
course.
5
Yeah.
pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do that. It's a little unfair, but
Well, I was gonna have Kiri dive in and spear it if we didn't get it, so
Have it sting the fish.
As long as this fish can be, as long as it doesn't weigh more than 15 pounds, you're going to be able to take it out of the water with that. But let me get you.
yeah, I'll just keep snatching fish out of the lake with Mage Hand, or the sea with Mage Hand as I catch them.
All right.
I was that half orc previously.
There's a new one that's pretty good that Chris used last night for a turtle.
Yeah, it's not perfect. I'll use it for now for you.
Is it just a turtle?
No, it's not. It's not. I'm gonna give it to you now. Which one are you, Gage? What's your username? GSB. Yep. There you go.
It's like a knoll.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the only thing is it's actually some kind of like. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm here.
Okay. Perfect. Yep. All right, and you're back in the cave, correct?
No, I'm still
Umbro?
fishing. Sorry.
No, I know. I know.
Yeah.
On the other side. Yep. Okay. Cool. So everyone is canonly where they are at this point, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I'm
hold
ritual
on.
casting Tiny Hut.
Well, then I would be by him so that I could go into the tiny hut because you have to be in it when you cast it.
I can choose who I allow to be in it.
Right, you have to be in it at the casting.
Yep.
Okay, I'll just be working on spells and stuff then.
Everyone now has the ability to move their miniature, correct?
Yes. I do.
And do we have? Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second. All right, cool. Mac, I'm gonna put you on here too. Do you have access to Tailspire, Mac? Mac, you're muted, Mac. Because I do have Senator. Yeah, it's weird. I don't think so, but anyway.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah. Do you have Tailspire, Mac?
The only way I can see getting Tailspire is if we buy it for $24.95.
Yep.
Okay. No, yeah, that's the only way to get it, unfortunately. But if you don't have it, no worries. You can see it on the stream. But just let me know where you'd like to be if you want to move. Right now you're by Gretna, but everyone else does have the ability to move their miniature, correct?
Yeah, and I can move.
Yeah.
Shane,
Sirius.
I'm using yours. Yeah. All right, cool. All right.
Here's not in the chat, by the way.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yep. All right. All right, cool. Oh yeah, let me so Erastus, yeah, you can grab them out. The third one though, however, the third thing that you catch, do me a favor. You do catch something that's relatively large. It's too big for
Oh.
Mage Hand. You have to decide if you're going to let go of your fishing pole or make a strength check to oppose it. It's that bad. It's pretty big.
We'll we haven't taken a long rest, right?
Correct. Not yet.
Okay, I'm casting enlarge on myself and pulling this thing in.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can cast enlarging yourself. You have enough time. Go ahead and give me a strength check with advantage.
Steel flops into the water.
Yeah, I was about to say, Seal probably would jump back because it doesn't look like we have a lot of space.
Yeah. No, you don't.
25.
All right. All right. So this is some kind of predatory fish. You notice it right when you take it out of the water. It's around 8 feet or so. You're actually surprised that it actually even took the hook that you're going through. By the way, Erastus, what did you imagine you were using for bait? Out of curiosity.
I was gonna use some like dried meat.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I've assumed too. I just want to make sure. Okay. So you pull it out of the water. You're a little surprised to see this thing. This is something called a Volker, and it's to your knowledge, you didn't know that they were around here. It looks like a cross between a shark and kind of like an eel, because it's got a long kind of like body that does have some scales on the tip of its head, but a lot of it's like a slimy thing. You can definitely eat this. Just keep in mind that their bites are poisonous and it's thrashing around and going through it, but you were able to take it out. This is certainly enough food for everyone. However, when you prepare this thing, you just have to be careful because it does have poison glands and it has, some other toxins within its system that are going to be toxic to everyone in the party if you decide to eat it.
Yeah. I'll just give it a good old 1-2 punch in the head, make it go all quiet, and
Yep.
have CO carry all the other fish, and I'll throw this big boy over my shoulder and walk back up to our camp.
Sounds good.
And I do have proficiency in cook's utensils, and I have cooked utensils, so I can start working on it.
Cool. Awesome.
Making us a good dinner.
Yeah, Seal will help Erastus cook for the party.
Cool deal. Give me 1 second too. I just need to talk to Maximilian privately because I didn't give him enough info yet. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna drag him down.
Go ahead. I'm gonna get some more pasta while he's
And
doing
I'm gonna roll my portents for the upcoming day.
That is smart. Also, do we have an alchemy jug, or am I imagining that?
I thought it was Group C that had it.
I don't know.
Or am I
don't
insane?
remember.
I mean, is it,
Okay.
Yeah,
why?
we got it.
You think
We got it
why?
where what's his face was Spurt.
Okay, perfect. Because I was wondering if like we had the ability to like get fresh water, or if we were gonna have to, boil that. But now we can drink like alcohol and like enjoy ourselves. A concept.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
also, just a heads up, if anyone needs to roll anything, I have 2 nat 20s burning a hole in my pocket that I have to use up before the next long rest. So if anyone has to roll for anything, do it right now. And tell me
Do it so we don't get poisoned by this big fish and we can have a full dinner.
all right, well I could save 2 people on that in that case.
Help me, not fuck it the cooking.
All right. I'll help you not I will stick by him. I'll be a sous chef.
I'm going back up to the camp to cook it. Well, can I get
This is gonna be
guidance, a CO guidance real quick? Because if you natural 20 that, it's an automatic 25. I'm gonna roll a CO guidance. I just want to see how I can get this.
I mean, she would give it to you, so.
Also I can Oh,
I'm also gonna flash of genius it to a 31. This is gonna be the best damn meal you've ever had.
I wonder if we'll get temp HP for it.
this is gonna be the first fish I've ever eaten.
Wow.
It's the best fish you've ever eaten, so it's gonna be all downhill from here.
Also gonna be the worst fish I've ever eaten. By that same logic.
And it's all still downhill from here.
You're gonna feed me a poisonous shark eel as my first meal.
All for the course from where you grew up at.
Yeah, that tracks.
I mean, if you want, CO can make it taste like straight sugar if you really end up hating it that much.
No, it's all right. I wonder if sugarfish, a Swedish fish.
Yes.
Mm.
Canonically Swedish fish.
I wonder if there's any like bloodfish in the River of Blood in Tovag.
Just
Alright.
congealed like blood.
So as it gets a little later, as you guys start cleaning the fish, Erasmus, that was your plan, right? You were gonna go through and start cleaning the fish out and preparing food.
Yeah. He
I got 31.
I gave him guidance, Umbra portent, his roll to prepare it, and he flashed of genius to a 31.
Perfect. So it's going to be completely safe. Matter of fact, it's only going to take you 2 hours. A lot of times cleaning these fish can take up to 6, which you don't really have 6 hours for everyone to do this and then get a long rest. But you were able to do this expertly, as if you've done this many times before, and you were able to not only depoison the sacks but also get the meat to a place where it can feed everyone. Um, so as you guys are preparing your meals, you do hear with your passive, with the next highest passive perception, Pyravin's the one who actually like alerts the group, but you guys do actually hear like basically movement from the cave like lower beyond. Now you guys have already been in there, like you didn't see anything
Need
there
to put up
originally.
your stream again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Yep. I don't know why it's doing that. That's bizarre.
It's because you moved channels.
Let me
I'm
know
gonna
if it does that again. But
Amanda, I'm gonna humbly request a photo edit of Erasmus with Guy Fieri hair. Just like Photoshop it on. Welcome to Flavor Town.
all right. But you guys do hear like movement underneath you.
does it sound like it's large, or is it like a small skittering?
No, it sounds like it sounds like displacement. Like it sounds like there's like been pebbles and rock displacement underneath you. Um, from exploring the island, you know there's another cave down there, but again, you've already been down there. But you definitely hear something on the cave underneath.
I gotta stay with this food. It needs another 15 minutes, or it's gonna go all
Yep.
bad, all gammy.
It's
So
in this
you
general
guys get your
direction. Yeah, it's down here.
I'm just gonna hold a hand up for everyone to just stay where they are, and I'm gonna send Tally out, kind of doing a sweeping circle of the island and just flying by that cave and just taking a look in.
Yeah, well, this time when Tally goes down to see the cave, um, being pretty still. Maximilian, go ahead and describe your character. Real quick.
So, what you see is a male human with black hair, sort of lightly tanned skin color. He's growing a beard that's probably about a week overdue for a trim, and currently seems to be in. His clothes are a bit tattered. And he seems to be repairing his clothes with some tools. And you can also notice that he's doing almost like some deep breaths to calm himself.
I'm gonna alert everyone in the group. There's a man below. He seems winded and human. Stay alert.
Well, I don't think we intended to leave the tiny hut for a time, so we should be fine.
Uh,
Sebastian
don't
knew he was
believe-
here.
I don't believe Tiny Hut's up yet, just because everyone's not here yet.
Yeah, we were also making cooking.
No, yeah, definitely not up yet, unless they're locked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my misunderstanding. I mean, we could just be proactive and go and see who they are. I mean, if
Would
they
you like me to
seem
scout
winded,
out?
or I mean, I appreciate the cautiousness, Umbra, but in Favoring, you don't have to be that way, or at least I haven't had to be that way with people. So we could just talk to them. Really,
They can probably smell this. It's not that far away.
right?
Well, I'll be
No,
honest.
you'd be able to. You would definitely. So Maximilian, you'd be able to smell the, not only the fish cooking, but you're relatively aware now of people above you. You were absolutely aware of the kid that came earlier, and you've been kind of staying out of sight. But now that there's many of them, and you've already seen the familiar pass by, you know that you're kind of spotted at this point.
And dude, with a 31 cooking check, it smells fucking good.
Yeah, yeah. You do smell something incredibly good coming from the top there.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice.
everything nice is-
I'll continue.
I gotta disagree.
continue
with you,
sewing
Theo.
up my,
It's better to be
my,
careful.
shirt.
My hammer.
I'll continue sewing up
Gretna.
my shirt for a few more minutes and then pack up my gear and then cautiously make my way out.
Yeah. You're incredibly hungry, by the way, Maximilian. So, just as a side note.
Yeah.
See, I agree with Gretna.
Do we have the needle of mending, by the way? I was just wondering.
Theo has it, I think.
Here should have
Oh,
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it back from him.
No.
Any objections, Pierre? Okay.
I'm. Gretna seems to have the right idea, and
You go.
do we want to confront him, or
I
let him
think-
come to us?
I think it would be gracious to confront him. And if you had met me in Luskin, I would not be a fan of new people for a number of reasons, but I'm more than confident that if they meant us harm, we would be okay. is the only reason I would suggest it in this climate, and we don't really know what we're getting into, so maybe if we make nice and maybe treat them to part of our meal, we have more than enough. Maybe they would know something about the town. They could be helpful.
I suppose.
Or
not
maybe
saying
they'll
that-
kill us in our sleep.
Well, I'm not saying they have to stay in Tiny Hut. I'm just saying we could make peace, and I imagine we would still have watch rotations throughout the night. So, with
We make
this
peace with
one
them.
individual, I'm not too concerned.
Well, to be honest, we've had quite an unscrupulous crowd to welcome us to this world. It hasn't been the best slice of the populace to greet us.
But
Can you
better than
make nice
Tovar.
meal? I'm gonna stay here with Umbra, and we'll be ready in case he's, a rat.
So, Maximilian, you see
I'm
a
all
very
set.
tiny, you see this very tiny gym dragon. Around this, it's a little smaller than a house cat. Climb out of Sio's cloak and wrap around and like touch her shoulder. Anyway, so Kiri comes to you, Sio, and he says, "But he smells like a weird smell."
Weird. She'll telepathically respond to Kiri and ask him, what does he mean by weird? Like, describe it as much as he can. Or can he relay, like, the smell, I guess?
He can't, like, there's no magical way for you to smell it or whatever.
Okay.
But Carrie does explain. He says, he smells like a different place with all those yucky things. And he's trying to explain it to what the yucky things are. And he says, mommy, in your book, those yucky things.
Which yucky things, honey? And Sio will. You said that the Demonomicon, when it's out and about, I can situate it to be invisible. Like, it's still going to float by me, but it can be invisible, right? Or am I
No,
crazy?
no. So that's actually not something that you've been able to get at yet. Unfortunately, the Demonomicon is always out and glowing, which is a problem.
Oh,
That said,
great.
it's probably because you've read some of the Demonomicon will eventually, assuming you're doing all the right things, will eventually allow you to actually use concentration to make sure that it's invisible. So it still sucks
Okay.
because it does take up your concentration to do that, but you are able
Uh-huh.
to make it invisible with concentration, and that should happen soonish, depending on
What
the
I
stuff
do.
that's fulfilled. Yeah.
Okay, but for now, it's a no-go. Okay.
now it's out.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, but
Sio
he
will
does. You can tell he's talking about your book.
Yeah, no, as soon as Kiri says that, Sio will summon the book to her and try and flip to some pages, like see if it will open to whatever Kiri is talking about.
It doesn't. It goes to random pages, things you can't
Okay.
read. Yeah.
Okay, as always. Kiri, we've
Yeah, and
seen.
he says, no, he's not one of those yucky things, but he smells like those yucky things.
So you're saying he smells like monsters, honey?
Yeah, he smells like monsters.
Okay. Do you know what kind of monsters or just monsters?
He said the demons. Smells like the demon monsters.
Oh. Well, that's less reassuring. Okay, well, if you think of a demon monster he smells like, then let mommy know.
Yep, he
And
says he will.
she'll also ask him if he can like see this guy or if he's just smelling him. Like, is this guy standing at the mouth of the cave?
No, he actually yeah. I mean, I assume at this point what's happened, Maximilian. Have you come up yet?
Yeah, I would say that I'm coming up at the moment.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna be moving Maximilian so you guys can see where everything is in real time. But hold on. So you
Cool.
see him walk up. He's around here. Yeah. So he basically, and so Maximilian, so you know this is all happening telepathically, unfortunately, so you can't respond to it. This little gym dragon though is staring at you and eyeing you very, very carefully. It smells you or something on you.
I give it an awkward wave and still cautiously looking around as I head up.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, as soon as Sio's done with Kiri and Umbra and Gretna said they were gonna stay behind,
Yep.
Theo will look to the rest of the group. Well, Erastus is busy.
Yeah. So this is what you see, by the way. So Umbra, first describe your character. You can see
All
Umbra,
right.
Theo, and Erastus right now. So go ahead, Umbra.
So you see. Hold on, let me just pull it up.
Amanda.
So you see this gruffy with a pair of red sunset goggles. He has them kind of lifted over a mop of gray hair, and you see he's got dark circles under a pair of these blood orange eyes. And he kind of stands up a bit straighter as he sees you kind of climb up into the cave. And he's wearing this kind of dusty, woolly mantle. And in the inside of it is this intricate pattern of muted grays and beiges and sage greens and oranges. And in the corners are two large bullseye patterns, like false eye spots of a moth. And he seems mostly human, aside from the strange, ashy pallor of his skin. And he's kind of unusually sharp incisors. And he kind of looks you up and down apprehensively and looks to the rest of the group.
Yep. And Theo, go ahead and describe your character.
So she would probably have been turning around to go and greet this person since they knew he was here. But I'm going to try and send her reference images to make sense. But you'll see a taller, more lean, purple tiefling woman. She looks relatively young, like she has to be very late teens, if that. Trying to figure out where I can send this. But and she'll be wearing like these finer clothes. I'm trying, it won't let me do it from my phone. It's really weird. Um but yeah, it really won't let me do it. Sorry. It's hard for me to multitask. So it's going in dice rolls. Um so it's a purple tiefling woman with two sets of horns. And as unsettling as it is to more than likely see a tiefling, her eyes are just these warm voids of white that matches her hair. And she's in these much finer clothes than someone in this area would probably be in. And like Chris said, there's a small emerald green pseudo dragon just hanging around her neck. And next to her would be a floating, like pink ornate book that just levitates next to her at all times. And she'll just turn and smile gently at you and say that she was actually coming to meet you and she's glad that you found your way to them.
And then you see Erastus busily cooking on this side. He's a giant turtle, but Erastus, go ahead and describe your character.
Well, the enlarge is worn off now, so I'm just a regular sized turtle. But I sent you a picture of what he kind of looks like. But he's got the back of his shell is cracked. It kind of looks like someone took an egg and hit it with like the back of a spoon. So it's got like that cracked spiderweb pattern all over the back.
yeah.
It's really kind of unsightly, and it's a little concave actually. He's got a bunch of little, like a bag that's got a lot of, it jingles around. It's got a lot of spare parts and metal in it, and there's a clockwork bird sitting on his shoulder that's just like pecking at the little bits of loose thread that come off of his what little clothing he has, and he's got these little cool goggles that he wears, but that's about it. He also looks scared as shit seeing you.
Yep. That's all we can see for now. But yeah, by the way, you've never seen one of these gym like dragons before. They're small. That's definitely interesting to you. Not to mention the fact that the book itself is weird. It does glow slightly purplish pink as well, which is odd. But
You see Max sort of take a bit of a cautious and sort of a ready stance as he gets a glance at Theo. But when he realizes that you're friendly, he unclenches his fists just a bit, and he chimes up and uh, hello there.
Yeah,
I
we can
knew
still
there
hear you.
were others on the island, but I didn't know there were this many of you.
Gretna, are you by the camp now, or are you
I
still on
guess
the?
so. I didn't realize everybody was up there. Yeah, you can. Whoops.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Maximilian.
My name's Umbra.
It's nice to meet you, Umbra.
We're
Might I ask how did you all get here? What are you all doing here?
we're shipwrecked here. We're stranded for the time being.
Right. We intend to just pass through town, try and make our way towards more of the middle of the continent. And I'm
Yes.
Sio, by the way, and Sio will very seeing how trepidatious you are. Sio will hold up one hand, showing that she doesn't have anything, and she'll reach her other hand out to shake your hand.
Max will slowly, but he'll reach out his hand and shake yours. Nice to
What do
meet you, Sia.
It's a pleasure
I'm
to meet you
sorry
too.
that I'm being so cautious to new people. I've been through quite some shit these past few days.
That's more than
So have
fair.
we.
And as a tiefling, I'm very used to it, so I've learned to ignore it. But I'm sorry to hear that you've been through it. We've been through our own, well, mess, I think is the simplest way to put it. But seeing how tired and, well, forgive me for being forward, but haggard you are, and she'll just kind of gesture to your unkept appearance. You're more than welcome to share in some of the food we caught. Orasis, thankfully, showed his skill and was able to acquire more than enough food for the evening, so you're more than welcome to it. And seeing Orasis kind of low-key cowering in the corner, she'll just gesture over to him and kind of motion at him to come over to where Max and Sio are.
As you say that, Max's tummy makes an audible rumble. I would very much appreciate that. I've been surviving off very few rations these past few days.
At this point, you also see Gretna come up. Gretna, go ahead and describe your character too.
Gretna is 4'6", dwarf with sort of a round face, bright blue eyes. She's got a helmet on, long blonde braids, and a hammer in her hand, and she is just staring you down.
Yep.
And not saying a word.
And Pan, are you coming back to the camp as well? Oh, okay, so you're just still like scouting around. That's fair. Yep. Same thing with Mac. You and Mac are still over here. Okay.
So do you live on this island, Max? That's gonna get confusing.
No. I was I guess you could say I was brought here against my will. Have you all heard of the Abyss?
Bits and pieces. Chris, would I have known?
You might have. Go ahead and make a. Just do me a huge favor. Make a history check. You might have been able to read something about the abyss, so make a history check.
Could CO also roll
Yeah.
a history check?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
CO, you know about the abyss from the book. You know a little bit about it.
Okay. I didn't know
Yep.
if racially or vicariously from the book
Yep.
what she would
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
23.
All right.
Oh, shit.
So you know that the abyss is theoretically a subterranean plane, but no one knows exactly where the plane exists. And although the most common areas into the abyss are through the Underdark, it is a place of demons. It is not. It is very different from a place like the Avernus or the Nine Hells. At least in Avernus, there's like some semblance of violence and order, and there's like a bunch of usually there's like a bunch of intelligence, even though it's a horrid place to be. The Abyss has this completely different kind of flavor. It's literally where most demons come from, and it can be horrifically bad in some areas. There can be just senseless violence and terror, and so some of the things are not even necessarily intelligent. The Abyss is arguably worse than Avernus or the Nine Hells.
Yeah, I'll just.
That's all you would know, though.
I would say all of that out loud to everyone.
Okay.
Yes, I know a little bit.
And what'd you roll?
Are you
What'd you roll, Sue?
Fat 8.
All right.
So
Yeah, well,
she-
you still know where the abyss is from being with the book. You don't really have any other additional information, just from the fact that you also know that demons mostly come from the abyss. Devils mostly come from the Nine Hells.
Okay. And Max, you're saying you were there?
As you bring up that thought, you see Max tremble a bit, and he says, "Yes, I recently escaped. I guess you could say, kidnapped by some demons.
Which ones?
I honestly do not know. I've never seen demons before. I've only heard about them in tales. And
Only one name that you distinctly do remember from your time there, because it was like told to you over and over and over again. And it's Asmodeus, but you don't know if he's there or how he's connected. But you heard other demons say his name. You don't have to relay this information, but that's certainly a name you know. Continue.
I will relay it. I'll say,
Okay.
I don't know the demons that kidnapped me. Maybe they were one name kept on popping up. It was Asmodeus, I believe.
Umber's
I don't
gonna
know
shoot
if
a look to
that's,
CO.
I don't know if that's a type of demon or the name of a specific one. I just know that was. I just know that was. It was. I was hearing it a lot when I was down there.
Would Theo be able to find that in the Demonomicon?
You can
like,
certainly,
as-
yeah, of course. You can just ask it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she'll bring the book
Chapter on this
closer.
motherfucker.
She has like bookmarks in this now. She's like, yes. Yeah, she'll just bring the Demonomicon closer to Maximilian and see if, as he mentions that name and what he vaguely remembers of his time in the Abyss, if it will automatically take her to like a reference page.
So here's the interesting thing. It only has a short description of Asmodeus in the Demonomicon, and it's been plagiarized. But it's very clear it's been plagiarized. This is all in common now that you can read it. It says Asmodeus was a patron of oppression and power, maybe the greatest devil, scratched out, weakest underling, lord of the ninth, overlord of death, and feces. That's all it has with Asmodeus in the Demonomicon. In small type on the abridged, like on the margins though, it does say that this is a devil. Asmodeus
Okay.
is not a demon.
Yeah, because that's what I was wondering is if it would even have reference to devils in the Demonomicon. But
See, that's the interesting thing. As you start looking at it, you're going to find that the Demonomicon apparently has things outside of just demons. But when they don't focus directly on demons, it's possible that they are like this. If it's going to have to be anything that's in the Demonomicon is going to have to basically reference or tie it to demons, and Asmodeus certainly does. But that's all that's in there.
okay, then as that material comes to her, Seal will read it out loud. Both what was originally written and then what was pasted over.
Yeah.
Why did they
According to
want?
the Demonomicon, he is the Lord of Feces.
Well, uh, you were captured. I'm assuming to be traded. Why did they want you?
I honestly couldn't tell you if I had to guess. I am a pretty popular gladiator in Nith. So I assume reputation got the better of me, and they found out and maybe tried to recruit me or something. I honestly couldn't tell you.
Chris, can I insight that, por
Yeah, of
favor?
course. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Does
I'd
that-
like to incite it too.
Does
Okay.
that say? Does that name Nith like ring a bell with me at all?
No, it doesn't. Nith does not ring a bell with you at all.
Gretna, I
The
hope you
only
got
person that
fire.
the only person that actually has a chance in hell of knowing anything about Nith is Rassus. Rassus, you can make a history check.
Yay!
All right, Gretna, show out. So I got a 11. Gretna got 16 on insight on Maximilian, saying he doesn't know why he got drugged
I
to.
get
Yeah,
a
yeah,
second
that's exactly right. So
I think he's just full of baloney.
so Maximilian, when they make an insight check, you always have to oppose, even if you're telling the truth. So go ahead and oppose first.
Okay, so deception.
Yep,
Or
exactly. Yeah, you just
okay.
roll deception. That's exactly right. No matter if you're telling the truth or not, and then we'll
All right.
and then just let me know what you got.
It's just a flat d20.
And
17.
Damn.
Okay, yeah, he's telling the truth. He's telling the
Damn.
truth. It seems like he's telling the truth. So what did you roll, Erasmus?
I was
think
asking
it-
Tyler if I could get that second nat 20 important roll for the history check on the demons.
Yeah. If you haven't rolled it yet, I'll give it to you.
So that'll be a 26.
On
Or
Nith?
27.
Okay. All right. So Nith is actually relatively close. You remember that it's in the northern part here in the Sea of Falling Stars. It's actually only probably maybe 30 miles by sea on the opposite side of where you guys are right now. As a matter of fact, if you open up Albert Rodeo, Erasmus, since you get to know where it is, it's literally here. So go ahead and open up Albert Rodeo, and I'll show you where Nith is. It is a real city, and it's relatively close. It's south of the Forest of Lether. The thing that, since you rolled so high, by the way, the thing that Nith is known for, it is a
If
tra-
I
it
can roll
is
it higher, if you want me to, I could flash a genius that to a 31. If that would
it shouldn't matter much. Yeah. So, but so it used to be another city called Telefam, but it fell when the orcs invaded in 1372 DR. So now it's called Nith. The interesting thing is that a cabal of wizards in the past 30 years were defeated directly inside of Nith, and there is a wizard's tower there that you vaguely remember hearing about. Those cabal of wizards were completely wiped out. They were probably bad news. They just kind of got erased from history, though. No one knows why. No one knows their story. It wasn't ever written down. Something to do with wizards all dying in Nith, and they had a tower there. So there is legitimate mage tower in Nith.
Yeah, let's not go to Nith, guys. Okay, all agreed. We're not going to Nith.
I mean, if you say so, I don't think we intended to go that way. But
I can say it's definitely not the best of places. So
we're actually going literally the opposite way. So I mean, good luck on your travels, but
I mean, to be fair, if you escaped, I would say the last place you want to go is home, where they would expect you to go so that they could find you.
also the last place they'd ever look, to be fair.
The safety in numbers. I
yes,
suppose.
and
So,
Uh, frankly speaking, I
now one of the things that everyone does
frankly
notice,
speaking, I feel like
one of-
I need to. I feel like I need to train more and.
So one of the things that everyone realizes by now that you're close enough and talking to Maximilian, by the way, it's something that Maximilian doesn't know that he has, so that's why I'm describing it. Around his neck, kind of like tucked in, is this pendant, makeshift pendant that he's created for himself. It's got what looks like a rather large piece of obsidian that slightly glows red every now and then. It looks completely unnatural. It looks like it could be magic or so. But everyone's able to notice this at this point now that you're close enough to it. If they ask you what it is, Maximilian, I'll describe it if you want to tell them. But this is the key that you have locked away. This is the only way for you to get back to the abyss if you ever had to, since it's
Okay.
mostly locked. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, so what are the chances that there's now demons following you, and you're going to lead them to us?
I feel like the chances are somewhat strong, though I can't say for certain.
Well, it was nice meeting you. Bye bye.
Horasis, we invited him to share in the food that we have.
Okay, here's a bit, and I'll like cut some off and hand it to you. Okay, goodbye now.
Horasis, manners.
No, demons. Manners
Wait,
out the
wait.
window.
I'm a
He's piqued my interest. Maximilian,
yeah.
you know, I'm a bit of a demon. I have a bit of demon blood in me.
Okay, bye.
I feel like that's the equivalent of saying I have like 0.01% like Native American.
Yeah,
Umbra's
yeah.
like,
Umbra,
I'm a little bit. And then there's Theo, a full honking demon. He's like,
Paul.
I'm a little bit.
You're a devil.
Yeah,
Now, something. So now that we've spent the 10 minutes, so as we've been 10 minutes or more within Maximilian's presence, here's another thing that you notice. All of a sudden, your Demonomicon literally starts to sift in black smoke from.
Oh, did you cut out? I think you cut
Yep.
out.
Oh, that wasn't
Chris-
just me. Okay, good.
I
The
thought he was
demons got him.
I thought he was
talking
talking
about it. That's it.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, bye. Go back to the other cave. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye.
It was very nice meeting you, Maximilian.
Sorry guys. All right. You can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my headphones died. Okay, so you see this black smoke basically start like sifting off of him. And what happens is the Demonomicon kind of like consumes it as it's going through and then glows much brighter. CO, you've now gained affinity with the Demonomicon. You know this instinctively. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me. This is personal to you, though. She's the only one that can make an Arcana check on this. Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Okay, I'm giving myself guidance.
Yep.
If only we didn't use it on dinner and history.
Look, it's a very good dinner.
Yes,
Well,
a very good dinner and
I
a very
need
good history.
I needed that desperate.
Gosh, genius, you stop whining.
As soon as I used them, you knew that there was an important check that was going to be made.
6.
What is it? What'd you get? 6?
I'm doing that.
A flat 6. Just 6.
6? Okay, yeah, you don't know why this is happening, but it's taking the air almost around him and consuming it, and it's going into your book. The book itself, now a couple things happen. First and foremost, you're now actually at the, ironically, you can now actually at will, if you'd like to, hold concentration and turn the Demonomicon invisible. Also, you'll have better access to different chapters of the book or more in-depth knowledge of the book as we go through. You do not know why, unfortunately, that happened, but apparently being in his presence has helped.
Chris, I'm going to start ritual casting something just as she's going through everything.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
What
Yeah,
what
Theo
was
would
that?
I
What-
wish I could tell you. I feel like you would be the one to have that answer. Did
I'll
they
give you a hint as well.
Maximilian, you do feel a tad better. Ever since you've been in the abyss, you've been smelling the smell of like rotten fish, sulfur. You also smell like rotted mold. That's now kind of gone away. This doesn't affect you physically in any other capacity. Like it's not like you lose sleep over this. It's not like you're any less proficient in fighting or anything like that. But this is certainly something that's a breath of fresh air. The Demonomicon has consumed this, and now you are breathing a little easier, and you don't have those smells all around you now.
Well, whatever that was, thank you. Feels like a weight's been lifted off my chest. I feel so much better. He takes in a big, deep breath of fresh air through his nose and exhales it out through his mouth, and you can tell he's feeling, even if it's just a little bit, he's feeling a little bit more refreshed and less cautious and more relieved.
You're welcome, I guess. Because as soon as that started to happen, Sio absolutely backed away. But as she starts feeling this more intense connection with the Demonomicon, she'll step closer to it and kind of just fiddle with it, like start trying to flip the pages and just try and get a better understanding of what this new feeling is, since she did
Yeah.
not innately understand it.
Yeah.
And Chris, I'm just ritual casting detect magic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if no one else wants to do anything while he's doing that, once it comes up, so by the time you get detect magic up, you don't actually see anything glowing on Maximilian besides the pendant that he's wearing. Everything else is pretty standard to you, including, of course, you see the glow of the Demonomicon and everything, all the other magic items within your party, but you don't see anything else specifically outside of that.
Do I get a school of magic on the amulet?
Yeah, so the School of Magic on the amulet is transmutation.
I'll just relay that to Co, and I'll be looking him up and down. And as I'm kind of casting this spell, it's just kind of like shadowy energy around my hands. I'm just looking at him.
Yep.
Sia will kind of just sit on that information for now. She'll write in her own journal to Umbra and let him know that she's happy to ask him about this because she's curious too, but she's going to wait until later in the evening when he's more relaxed and amicable to talk.
Very well. I might not let him in the hut. I have no problem if he stays for dinner, but I don't want him sleeping next to me.
Sia will respond with her book again and tell him that's absolutely fair. She didn't intend for him to sleep in the hut, share a meal, kind of scope out the town.
The cave should be
Um,
relatively secluded. We should be fine.
Yeah.
With that, she'll shut her book, nod at Umbra, and I imagine we've cleared out some space, like a space in the back for tiny hut, but another area where like we can all just sit around, like where Erastus was cooking. And Sia will just smile at Maximilian and tell him, I am not sure how we help, but happy to help where we can. But we can put that aside and analyze it later. Why don't you come sit and eat and maybe clean up a bit? And as she says that, she'll gesture over to kind of where the fire is, and she imagines like we have space set up to sit and eat and talk. And she'll cast Prestidigitation on Maximilian and kind of just clean him up. So where his clothes aren't so grimy and his face isn't like covered in dirt or anything, and try and alleviate the smell coming off of him.
Yep.
And yeah, she'll
Thank
just
you again. I'm. I must say, I'm not quite used to all this magic stuff, so this is fairly overwhelming to me. But thank you nonetheless. And as the dirt and as the dirt and sort of muck disappears from Max's face and body, you see that majority of his body is covered in some almost fully faded scars, and there are some bruises as well.
So,
They,
yep.
they seem to have been accumulated over the course of many years.
So one of the things you now see Umbra with Detect Magic up is that as he's going through his getting everything settled or whatever, you notice that he also has a similar look that is now glowing very, very bright. It catches you off guard. Obviously, it's not something that you expect to see. But sure enough, in like the tattered like belongings that he has and his rags and everything that he's setting aside, one of your books is there.
I'll take note. I'll take note of where he puts it.
Just putting it in my backpack. That's a bit torn. Probably could use a new one, but it's still functional.
Yeah, at this point, like everyone that's around him in the immediate area would also notice this giant ornate book as well, with metal filigree and stuff. So CO, you would see it too. Same thing with
Yeah.
you, Gretna. Erastus, you would see it.
If no one else points it out, Theo will.
Yep.
What the thing you do?
What was that?
You know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna move my fish.
No, Erastus, you can talk to Maximilian. He's been just as kind. I think
That's
he was
quite-
asking about your book.
It's for a fish, though.
It's quite an interesting looking book you have there.
Yeah, it's. I'm a. Despite how I look, I'm a fashioned reader. I do enjoy it every now and then.
I can appreciate someone that's an avid reader. Now,
I'm gonna keep a lookout for anything that might be chasing him. I'm not sure if I'm believing what this guy's saying.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Theo will kind
Yeah, I
of
mean, when you look out, the other thing too, everything's calm for now. There's nothing that's like basically, obvious. There's certainly no there's certainly no like alarms going off of demons chasing him or anything like that. That said, as you start to look around though, you do notice that as it gets darker in this area, that salty, briny like smell that's been around the area starts to subside a little bit. The air is pretty cool now too. Every now and then you get these pockets, Erastus, of really, really cold air, which you're still a little surprised about. You know you're up in the north, but it's still a little shocking that like every now and then you get like hit with some super cold veins of air. But other than that, it's been a quiet night.
Sure. I'll continue.
Yep. It's getting to be 7. It's getting to be dark now. The sun is starting to really set at this point, and yeah, at this point you're probably gonna start looking for your group too, because it's starting like yeah, the sun's getting down there. If you, yep, yeah. You definitely would. Yeah, absolutely. Once you get down to the other side, you'll see that there's the fire. You'll see the big fish like that Erasmus is trying to carve through it. And then as you start to get closer, you also notice now there's someone else in the camp with them. No, he's sitting down with them. They're all eating. Pan, go ahead and describe your character so he knows what you look like when you come up. You can just tell him what he looks like. You can just tell Pan what Pan looks like. So.
Yes, I do. Well, I do. I'm not sure if Max does.
I got my fancy clothes from a succubus.
That's right.
I
Ooh.
did too.
And she did too. That dress that Theo's wearing, she got it from a succubus closet.
Yeah, at least I didn't sit in its closet.
There was a closet that was just skin. Can you believe that, Maximilian? It was just skin suits.
It's a bit
Oh, I feel like
he's,
Pam would
he's showing a bit of discomfort hearing that, and he's like yeah.
And so there it was me and our paladin that had these ghoulish teeth in his mouth, and we were both in between these two skin suits, and they were just limply hanging on hangers.
Umbra, please. Not tonight.
Oh, come on. It's a good story.
Maybe
It is
over
a good story.
Maybe some other time once I've so
Well,
It
and
One time,
You-
one of our friends got killed by like a sleeping bag or a beanbag chair or something like that. I don't remember.
Yep.
why don't we?
So you guys immediately see, and it's very alarming to everyone, an incredibly large, bright flash of light. It looks like it's coming close to Umbra. It's so bright that you have to shield your eyes, and then you smell what smells like flint or something else igniting in the air, and then immediately you hear a disgruntled voice that you're very familiar with. Where did you guys go? Where did you guys go? You left Cracklicker!
Oh, by the gods!
oh, thank
You're
God.
here?
It's only that asshole. I thought it was
Where
only
did you
that.
go?
Why are you here? You were with Fintrix.
I'm gonna drown myself now. Goodbye.
How is Ventrix?
Don't shut it.
But you found a new friend, and I came to say hello. Would you like to go to the place of the unicorns, mate?
Look, don't
No.
listen to anything that fucking skull says. He's a liar.
He says,
Yeah.
listen, I have an amazing deal for you. I have an amazing deal for you. And he flies around. So what you see is it's a
You
floating
need
skull.
ad
that-
blocker for this asshole.
Yeah. He's literally a floating skull that looks like he's slightly charred. He is floating above the head of Umbra, and he essentially starts to like move around, and he says, so I have this offer, and this offer is really simple. It's really simple. You just have to take it.
Max is looking heavily back and forth between everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Theo has been very amicable. Theo's in a similar predicament. Like she's been very kind and obviously enjoying herself, and now she's just pinching the bridge of her nose, shaking her head at the ground, not saying anything. She's obviously over this.
Yeah, he looks at the group and he goes, you know, when you leave and you like leave in a way that I can't find you, it makes me a little angry and it makes me anxious.
Why don't you go bother the Dragonborn
Yes.
or the other wizard that we met?
He does
Talk
look
about-
directly at you, Maximilian. He says, would you like to go to the land of the unicorns?
No.
Don't do it. It's a bad idea.
No, sorry, I've seen enough fantasy for 1 week. Thank you.
He looks at the group, he looks at you, he's begrudgingly like goes back, realizes that he's not gonna actually convince you, and you see him slowly fade into cinders.
Oof, I thought it was bad there for a second. He scared the shit out of me.
What was that?
That
Who
was
was that?
Krakalak. I don't know what he is. Well, he's cursed, but it's a long story.
Cursed
Right.
on another plane of existence, forced to annoy us to death.
Yeah.
How unfortunate.
Right.
We often pay him no mind.
We often burden him with.
I think humor only gets you so far before you try to feed us to the Lady of Pain.
Oh, the Lady of Pain. Forgot about her for a second.
My
Anyway.
opinion on it is undecided at the moment.
So, Maximilian, now that you're out of the abyss, what do you hope to achieve?
Well, now that I know what's out there, I feel like I have a duty to stop this, to make sure that no one gets taken by these demons. I wouldn't want that. I would feel responsible, and frankly, I feel like I have enough on my shoulders as it is. So I want to see if I can help out and make sure people don't have to go through what I went through.
Well, that sounds like a reasonable mission.
Yeah, so one of the interesting things that you do know, Maximilian, and this is hidden knowledge that you have that you can decide to tell the party if you want to or not. I'm gonna say it in the open. Anything that's critical, I'll just message you. But you do know from Nith and from the area that you're in, and surrounding areas probably too. Before all of this happened, there were already signs that there's something larger at play, something's definitely happening or going on. Before you went down into the abyss, there's already been like for an example that you had is that in Nith, several months like before you even left town, there were already like people having really bad dreams and worse. There was a famous case of a little girl that got drowned inexplicably. She like her whole family like completely distraught, and then the rumor was she actually came back. She was drowned, buried. She came back from the lake, and then supposedly some horrible like things out of like basically straight from hell came with her to devour the family. So there have been weird things going on for a little bit, and that was the only thing that you would like basically connected to the abyss. Once you were in the abyss, though, you did get little tidbits of information that there is something relatively big happening that will eventually breach the surface and affect everyone. everyone in favor, and at some point, you just don't really have any kind of like, you don't have any kind of specifics on that. You were barely able to make it out alive. That said, your time in the abyss was certainly spent well for you on top of it, because that's where you gained a lot of your power. Most of your levels came from you being down in the abyss. Not all of them, obviously, but surviving and everything. You certainly gained some real power down there.
I'll keep that information to myself for
Yep.
now.
All right, so you guys know that in the morning, Sebastian's going to come back for you. If you want for tonight, just give me some sleeping arrangements and tell me exactly where you guys want to be positioned, and then we can find out what happens tomorrow.
I'm gonna
I'm
set up
gonna
tiny
stick
hut.
with- Wait, I'm gonna stick with Umbris, so he's gonna set up the hut.
Okay.
We can do. I'll be happy to take the first shift. I'm gonna try and position the tiny hut so that it matches the same color as the rock, and I'm gonna have it just encompass the entire mouth of this cave and the inside, so that no one can really get in or out.
Mhm. I'll take first watch. And I
All right.
stare back at him.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
at
Well, that's
Umbrat,
the other question
Max.
I had. That's mostly important here. Are you going to, when you create tiny hut, are you going to allow Maximilian to enter, or are you going to tell him he needs to sleep outside for tonight?
Maximilian, do you mind? We're a little jumpy.
I completely understand. That's fine.
You can stick with us, and if anything does happen, you have our support. Just to err on the side of caution. I hope you don't mind. So we do it to all the new folk.
Some of them
Max
betrayed
nods.
us.
Max nods and he goes and positions himself on sort of the edge of the cliff and sits down and cross-legged and just looks out towards the ocean, and he says, I'll help with the watches."
If you do see anything, this dome does not block any sort of sound, so just give us a call.
Lifts his head and
Okay.
starts meditating for a bit.
Yep. Cool. All right, so you guys
Trying to
see that he does comply with you. He obviously, you see him meditating outside. Erasmus, are you doing anything before you get in the tiny hut? Anyone else doing anything?
Nope. I'll just do my
Er-
diffusion in the morning. That's it.
You would probably get that response with sending back from Kino.
Okay.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, if you're sending anything, yeah, that is right. You would get it back in the morning.
Sent it like an hour ago. Yeah.
Sue would try and contact her brother again.
Yeah.
And besides that, she'll take second watch after Gretna. But until then, she'll try and contact her brother. If it works or doesn't, she's just gonna go into the hut and probably sleep next to Erastus if he sleeps in the hut.
I guess Max will take third watch then.
Oh, CO, you do get a response from your brother. It
Oh.
takes an hour though,
About time!
which is odd. So you do get a response from your brother, and it says, he says, "Where are you? I'm somewhere close to the sea, trapped. Come help."
Yeah. Sio will absolutely tell him that we're near Alco, the name of the town that I'm trying to pull up the notes desperately for.
Orange Cove. You're in Orange Cove.
Yeah,
you're in
she'll
Orange
tell
Cove.
him we're in Orange Cove on the Sea of Fallen Stars. I'll come to you as soon as I can, but you have to give me more directions. There are many seas, brother. She'll also tell him she loves him and she's happy she finally heard from him.
So he does respond, and he says, "It's hard for me to talk. I was last in Nith.
What?
Don't know where I'm at now. Please come find me."
And Theo is certain that this is Vand. Like, there's no way
Yeah,
this.
correct. It's you're using your book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's him.
Uh,
No one's able to hijack your book.
okay. Then Theo will say she'll go to Nif as soon as possible, and she'll work from there. And if there's anything else he can give her to expedite this, tell her now. She'll also say that she's very happy to hear from him, and she was starting to get worried. She'll
Yeah,
also say they got out of the tomb.
unfortunately, there's no other response.
Okay. Well, as soon as she gets that info, like Sio is going to be kind of like in a small frenzy. She's just going to be very quickly scrawling in her book, trying to get a hold of Vand. And as soon as he stops responding, she'll take a minute to just kind of collect herself and sit in the fact and know that he's alive. And she'll wait to go to sleep. Or actually, no, she'll wait until second watch to try and talk to Maximilian. She will wake him up if she has to.
Okay. Yep.
RIP to your long rest, buddy, but she has other ideas.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can just wake him up at this point. I mean, it's
Is it first watch?
Yeah, your first watch. I'm second.
Okay, so first watch. I'm taking first watch.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So
We need a
so
fourth.
you take first watch and nothing happens, Gretna. Everything's
I
safe.
walk over to Max, and I just say, "You make one wrong move, and I will end you."
Oh my god.
What? Who is she?
What'd you do with Gretna?
She didn't come back the same. She didn't come back to this world the same.
War
That
changes
comes
people.
out of the sea and comes from the demon thing, and he's talking about how he met a devil in the demon place, and it's like nope, something's wrong here. I'm not saying that this. Look where we've been, and look what's happened to us.
Yeah,
I
I'll let
don't
you.
just
I'll let
trust
you
this
respond
guy
to
all
that,
of a
Max.
sudden.
Max doesn't look at Gretna, but he's still sort of finishing up his meditation by the time Gretna comes out, and he's merely got his eyes closed, and he just nods while still staring off the edge of the cliff, and says, "You have my word. I won't try anything funny."
Not comfort. I just continue my watch.
Gretna's watching Max sleep.
With the hammer just out over him.
Give me an excuse.
Yeah, I feel like it's the hammer just coming down into her hand every so often, so he knows she's still there.
She's like the tooth fairy, but she takes the teeth.
All right. So, all right. So after that, going through second watch. Is that so? When you wake up, you said you would wake up Max if you had to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knowing that Max is after her, she'll wait for the last 30 minutes per watch to wake him up because he would be getting up soon anyway.
Okay.
One thing you notice about Max is that he's still sort of sitting upright, but he is asleep.
Oh.
He's not laying down in the sort of in the way normal people sleep. But you do see that he is asleep. He is making a bit of a snoring noise, but he is sitting upright. He's sort of he's moved back, sort of against the rock face now.
Okay. Well, in the last, well, do I need to roll, Chris, for perception or anything to actually keep watch?
No, you're not going to be able to really keep watch and have a conversation, but that's okay. I mean,
Oh,
that's
okay.
just it goes with it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Then the last 30 minutes of Sio's watch, um, she'll go over to Maximilian and just put a hand gently on his shoulder and just like gently kind of try to rouse him awake.
Max almost sort of springs to life and grabs your arm, Theo, and then he looks at you and he releases his grip.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, it's fine. It's fair. I guess I'm just used to being around the party so much. That's waking up in the middle of the night isn't as scary as it used to be. But
So I assume you have some questions.
more or less, I did want to give you a head start on your watch too. I know Gretna can be authoritative, and it's with kindness in her heart that she is. I didn't want you to
Just
mess.
shows that she cares for her friends.
She does, ardently, and, well, I want you to make a good first impression with her at least. So, I
I
woke you up a
do as
little
well.
early. I do have questions, though, if you're willing to take them.
Yes, I feel better. I've managed to calm my nerves, so go ahead, ask away.
Well, they may not make too much sense to start with, but and at that, Sia will kind of just sit down, not next to Maximilian, like a few feet away, and kind of just stare out of the cave, and kind of just take in the night breeze. It's the first time that she's seen the ocean since Luskin, so she's kind of excited to be in familiar geography again. So I guess the best place to start is what exactly happened in Nith to drive you away?
That you can answer. That has nothing to do with demons or the abyss. Right? You can answer that if you want to,
Yeah.
Maximilian, on your own.
Well, it was an upright shithole to grow up in. I never knew my parents. I'm an orphan. I grew up fending for myself and standing up for the little guy, you know. I once I uh, sort of taught myself how to fight. I'm not proud of it, but I managed to steal some things and then leave that place. I journeyed around with what little experience I had. I managed to sign up with a gladiator arena. And that's how I sort of made my my living. I was a performer. I fought as a gladiator. I entertained the people. I brought smiles to their faces. And yeah, I earned the name Deadly Fist. Fought for 15 odd years. And I guess, as I said earlier, my reputation got the better of me, and I feel like that's why the demons came after me. Must have thought I was a strong adversary or something. and try to brainwash me or something. I don't know if that's possible with magic, but I get the feeling anything's possible.
Well, with what we've seen, I think you're right. There were things beyond my wildest dreams I didn't know existed in this world before I met the group. And it's funny that been running into a lot of orphans during our travels. Erasmus and I being one of them, Umbra being another, and well, actually several. And so you'll kind of get very pensive realizing that majority of the party is probably an orphan. Uh, and she'll just shake it off and look back to you and tell you that she's also an orphan and grew up in a right shithole herself. And she'll describe Luskin very briefly and how she and her brother lost their parents and ended up orphans on the street because no one would take them in. And they kind of followed a similar path to him, and that they tried to be on the up and up. And it wasn't easy being orphans in Luskin and being tieflings at that. But they made a living, and she ended up adventuring with the party for some. She'll be very vague about the party meeting up and what they've actually done. She'll just leave it at the party met up, and we were hired out to excavate a tomb, and we've been doing that and ended up getting shipwrecked here after our last stint in a dungeon of sorts.
Small world.
It is. No matter how big it is, it seems as though we have people running into us. Very similar people at that. And she'll kind of look over to Maximilian as she says that. It's, I guess it can't be a coincidence anymore, considering that we have a similar upbringing and, well, we have similarly ornate books. And she'll kind of just stare back out at the ocean and wait for Max to respond.
You mean to say that you guys have books like this?
You
And
mean,
he brings around his backpack and gets out his artifact book.
yeah. Theo will just smile at you at that and tell you, well, I guess we'd have very similar books if yours glows randomly at different times, sucks you in, and then teaches you further skills related to your art. Then, yeah, very similar books.
Max stays silent and he nods and then slides the book back in his backpack, zips it up, sets it down next to him. One of the things that I want to do is make this world better for anyone, really. The amount of joy that I used to bring to people, I want everyone to experience that joy as much as possible. And whether that be through being a gladiator for the rest of my life or achieving something greater, I'm all for it. No one deserves to go through a life of being an outcast, being an orphan, being thrown away. No one deserves that.
And I wholeheartedly agree. And with that, and Sio will kind of get up and brush herself off. On that, um, probably sometime tomorrow, assuming you're willing to stay in our company, uh, I'd like to ask you more about Nith. I on the idea that you want to keep people safe, prevent them from facing the same hardships that you did. My brother might be a Nith, and from what you're saying, I think it may not be a good thing that he's there. And whatever insight you're willing to share, I'd like to take it into
Yeah,
account.
once you go ahead and describe your brother, um, um, you're not going to have any recollection of this person ever being a Nith, Maximilian. You have no. See, I'll let you describe him, but you just don't have any information, unfortunately.
Yeah. Tia will briefly describe her brother. He's just a red Metastopheles tiefling male, in his 70s.
Yep.
And he stands taller, probably around 6 foot. Uh, she'll try to describe his accent to the best of her ability, and uh, that he's kind of hard to get along with, but he's very much the warm and fuzzy type once you break his outer exterior. Uh,
There's a couple things you know about Nith. First and foremost, Maximilian, a tiefling would stand out like a sore thumb. There's no way he was ever a Nith when you were there. And if he was, you would certainly have known about it. Also, it's kind of a backwaters area still in this general direction, and they're pretty unkind to tieflings just because they think that they're like demon spawn. So you
Yep.
can relay all this to her, but you're kind of surprised that he is even in Nith.
Well, your brother must be either, I don't want to be rude, but either a great fool or he must be able to disguise himself. But because from what I know, Nith does not welcome demon spawn.
Most places don't. And that's why I said I don't think he willingly went there. I know that he was in Daggerford recently, and then I lost contact with him for what felt like weeks.
And by the way, Tio, you do know that Daggerford is very far away from Nith.
Yeah,
It doesn't
no.
really make any sense on what's
How
going
he
on
could
right
have
now. But yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, and she'll explain that too, that he was in Daggerford, and she just heard from him today, and he's now in Nith, and she thinks something's wrong because that's very far away. Like, she doesn't really even know where Nith is, but she knows it's nearby, and it doesn't make sense how he could travel that far that fast. So that's why she thinks he's in trouble, and if he knows, Maximilian knows anything about what dangers lie in wait for someone in Nith, specifically anyone who would be imprisoned, like any information he has about that, she would want to know.
Yep.
Well, the only thing that I do know is that he won't be treated kindly by the townsfolk there due to certain stories, certain myths and legends that parents tell their children to make them go to sleep and such. So some have been proven to be true more than others. So
The
Right.
Maximilian, what you can offer her is that you do know Nith inside and out. And if anyone could get you in and not cause a bunch of distraction, because that's the other problem. Once this group in general, the minute they walk into Nith, it's going to, unless they can disguise themselves, it's going to be an instant red flag. Like it's going to be alarms will go off everywhere. Like and you don't even know this for sure, but like let's say you needed to get into Nith and not be seen. That's going to be impossible. However, you happen to know some ways into the town. It's not heavily fortified, and you do know literally catacombs that you trained in your youth that you could get into the town from underground if you really had to. So it's something you could offer.
I'll relay that info.
You'll have to obviously be there. Yeah, it's not something you can just like tell. Like this is a kind of complex thing. You would just need to be with the group in order to make that
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. I know Nith fairly well, so I should be able to help you guys who are more than likely going to be looked down upon whilst you're there, I can offer a passageway in that that would keep eyes off you.
Yeah. When you say that, Sio will turn to you, and as she was talking about her brother, you could tell that she wasn't excited to talk to you about him. She was actually very sad, almost distraught, sort of discussing it. And when you mentioned that you're willing to help in any capacity, her shoulders lessen. They're not as tense as they were, and she'll just offer you a small smile and thank you profusely for offering any assistance. She's been very scared for him, but she's slightly more reassured now that she can get to him and save him. And with that,
So it's the least I could do.
she'll just smile and nod, and at that, she'll bid you a good night. And I think Mac said he was taking, or no,
Yeah.
Erastus or Mac saying they're taking third.
Max will take third watch.
Well, I
Mackmorn
think-
also said he would join.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, someone said they're joining you. So
Oh.
she'll go rouse whoever is third. So if Mac is third, then Erastus is fourth. So she'll go get Mac, tell him Erastus is next up, and she'll go to bed.
All right.
Well, I'll just
Alright.
this.
Go ahead.
I'll just keep watch with Max. And did we have a fire going or did we not?
Yeah, there is a fire going.
I'll keep it going and gather up a little bundle of wood for the next person.
All right.
Nearing the end of the watch, Max sort of gets up and he heads up to the top of the cliff just above where the cave is, and he
Yep.
begins to sort of almost shadow box in a sense with the air, and just sort of looking out at the sea while he does so.
All right, so it is the next morning. You guys notice that there is a faint but very distinct glow from the sun rising over in the east. One of the things that you notice is that the town is actually more lively than you expected. You can actually hear, even from where you're at, people on the other side. Is like there's basically trade merchants coming through. A ship has come into port just this morning. You guys saw it come in, and the town is relatively busy.
So,
As the morning sun
He hasn't
as the
arrived
morning
yet.
sun
Yeah, he
rises,
hasn't arrived
I'll
yet, so it's on for you
I'll
guys.
hop down.
Okay. All right.
I'm having trouble getting on Tailspire, but I'm going to be praying and just that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Sio will tell Erastus that her brother reached out to her and what he said, and that she's not really sure what to do. And she'll just talk to him for a bit about it, and then she will go to Umbra and tell him what little she found out about Maximilian during their conversation, knowing that he was also kind of curious about him. And she'll tell him what she did know, what she doesn't know, and she'll also mention to Umbra that her brother responded to her and that he's in
Oh.
trouble in Nith.
He's in trouble. How did he get into Nith? From where did you say he was from? He was from far away, wasn't he?
Yeah, Seal will pull out her book and like point to where Daggerford is and start looking for Nith. He knows it's
Well,
vaguely nearby, assuming
Well-
he's in Nith.
I mean, if he's half as powerful as you are, he would have means of teleportation, no? Where he could jump from one city to the other, especially if there was a circle or something of the type.
He will nervously laugh. I'm flattered, I think, that you think I'm that strong when I'm not. And tell you the truth, Umbra, Vand is a showboat. He was always willing to flex his muscles and twirl his daggers to dissuade people from messing with us, but I don't think he's capable of getting out of this.
Well,
I
did he
don't
say exactly what kind of trouble he was in?
know. He doesn't know. He couldn't tell me much. He made it sound like people know that I'm contacting him, so he can't respond. He responded, and she's gonna get a little frazzled as she's talking to you because you can tell she was calmer hearing from her brother, but thinking of all of the what ifs is getting her kind of worked up. I don't know, Umbra. It took him an hour to respond. It normally only takes a few minutes for someone to respond to me. And he doesn't know exactly where he is. He thinks he's near Nith. And that was the last place he knew. I don't know when that was. I don't think he can get out of
What
this.
are the odds?
Umbra is just, he's gonna get a little frightened at the fact that she's getting so emotional. He's gonna be like, no, look, well, and he's
As
gonna
you guys are
kind of,
talking, by the way, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Amra. As you're
Yeah.
talking, Erastus, you notice this. Co, you catch it at the corner of your eye. Maximilian, you see it. Off into the distance, if you look at my stream, all
Mhm.
the way up here, all the way up here is literally a shadow. The shadow is humanoid in nature. It looks like it really looks like someone that's been crucified, meaning that their arms are outstretched. There's no cross behind them. Their arms are outstretched. They're just standing there. It looks ethereal, maybe see-through, and it's just literally staring at you from the ocean. And then you notice behind it, behind this area, it starts to shimmer as if like there's like if you've ever seen like a mirage, or for instance you've seen like propane leak or gas leak, and massive area behind it is also like flickering like that as well. You guys have never seen anything like this, have no idea what this is currently.
Well, I was gonna wait till later to do this, but now's as good time as any. And I run over to see it, and I put a ring. I put a ring in her hand, and I say, "Put it on. It'll let you walk on water."
Okay, but do you see that?
Yep. And I start running away from it.
Umbra's gonna turn Co away from the giant crucified seaman.
Oh, it's not
And-
giant though. It's it's the size of a normal man, but it's like literally out in the ocean over here, and it's like 50, 60 feet up. It is the size of a normal person, but it's
Oh,
but it's
okay.
so bizarre that you just notice it now. Like it's like, what is going on? It's not moving. It's in the it has its like feet on the, like it looks like a cross itself, as if it's like caught through being crucified or whatever, but it's not. And then behind it though is a giant wall of displaced. It's the same effect you would see in the real world if you're looking at gas or propane or something. That it's wavy behind
It's
it,
the mist.
but it's also, but you're right, but it's also got like a prismatic sheen to it.
Fucking run! Fucking run!
Umbra, you're familiar. Can they get to that? Can they see what that is?
Yes,
Yeah, you
I
guys notice
will.
Erastus is already getting out. Is anyone else moving?
Yeah, Sia will throw on her ring, and immediately anyone who hasn't seen it, she's taking them by the arm and pointing it out until
Okay.
everyone in the party is aware.
Okay. Yeah, it hasn't moved or anything yet, so.
And Umbra's just gonna stop Co as she's getting up to leave, and he's gonna be like, I know we have to go now, but we're on the right track. We know where he is. He's safe. It sounds like he's resourceful, that he knows when to talk to you and when to not. Everything's going to be fine.
She'll nod and give Umbra a slight smile and just almost with teary eyes tell you she hopes so. And she'll hurry back to like getting the party together, like pointing out what's going on, and she's gonna start packing things away that haven't been attended to.
Yeah, as you guys are coming, Erastus, you see it first. Sebastian's almost to the he's almost to the island now.
Max
Is
will
that person on the beach supposed to be him?
Max will help.
No, the this one here, that's actually Mac for now. This is Mac,
Okay.
you know. Yeah. No, I'm gonna put him there in 1 second.
Max will help finish packing up the stuff that hasn't
Okay.
been packed up, and then he will he'll wait until everyone else starts moving, and then he'll follow behind, still keeping an eye out on the man in the sky.
I'm just gonna yell back at him at the top of my lungs to run.
Okay.
Hurry.
All right, so you guys start moving through there. Sebastian does get back to you guys. He sees you, Erasmus. Are you gonna just basically start like walking on the water?
I can't. Seal has to rain, but I can just swim in the water just as easily.
Okay.
I
Oh,
have
gotcha.
prepared
So
water
Susan.
walk if everybody needs it.
I
Okay,
made a
that
ring
become
that I
handy.
gave her.
There's lots. So Sebastian does come back and he says, "Good morning, everybody."
Sebastian.
Hey, good morning. Let's go. And I just hop in the water.
Oh,
Okay.
What's that? Sebastian, what's that?
So
saw
Sebastian,
Matt.
so he can't actually even see like the figure yet or anything from where his vantage point is. But do you want to lead him over behind the thing?
We don't have to lead him close to it. We can just describe it.
He basically, if you describe it, Gretna, he's like I have no idea. Like, where is it?
Let's not even mess with it.
He says, "Well, I came over this morning. Did you guys want to come back on my boat? I
Yes,
can at
please.
least fit 2 or 3 of you." And then he notices that Erasmus is already like booking it out. Cio, are you walking on the water?
No, she thinks that would be way too obvious.
Okay.
Given her very tiefling nature.
Yep.
So no, she'll wait. She wants to go over, but if other people.
Wait,
Yeah, I was
Cio,
about to say pretty
Cio,
much.
give it to me. I'll walk. I'll walk on the water.
It instantly attunes.
Umbra, it's more that it's very obvious
I
that
can be invisible.
you can be invisible. All right, and she will
I-
give you the ring.
I turn to Sebastian. Look, you don't. Yeah, you don't know. I don't. And I just step off the boat.
I activated
Okay.
my guardian armor underwater, so you guys would be able to see like the glowing blue eyes peering back at you from beneath the waves. I look oddly like a sea monster.
What could go wrong? Just roll up on town like that.
Yeah, I imagine Mac's gonna take the boat since he's in heavy armor for sure. Okay. All right.
How many of
Max,
us can fit on the boat? Only 2 or 3 of us?
Yeah.
How many?
3.
Because
3
as you,
total.
Theo,
3
as
total.
you, that means somebody's not
Someone
okay.
can ride on my shell.
Theo will offer to wait with Max. Because she doesn't want to cause a scene, and she's probably also going to disguise herself, and she needs a little bit of time to do that.
Well, let's go. Let's go. We gotta be quick about it. Let's go.
All right, I'll get on the boat. If you don't want
Okay.
water walk.
All right. So Gretna's on the boat. So it's Gretna, Sebastian,
Mac.
Maximilian. Are you gonna swim or do you want to take the boat? You can hold one more person.
We still need Pierre. We still gotta take Pierre.
I know. Yep.
I'll swim.
Cio, jump on my shell.
Okay. All right.
Mac
Pierre's gonna
Mullen's
take the
got
boat.
a ring of water walking too.
As soon as the boat leaves for the first trip, Umber's just kind of gonna step back into a veil of shadow, and he's gonna use his feet to cast invisibility on himself for an hour. And I'm gonna walk beside the boat, like
Okay.
10 feet away from the boat.
All right, Mac.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're gonna walk on the water.
So if Mac walks, then
Yes, I
Gretna.
am.
So if Mac will walk, then Gretna, Cio, and Pan, or whoever else is left, Pan, Pierre, whoever else can just get on the boat. We don't have to do 2 trips, I guess.
Mm-hmm. She's a train.
Yeah, I figured you could. I was like, I just didn't know what you wanted to do. I didn't know she wanted to get wet.
Let's go. Let's go scout out, Pam.
Max is going to
I'm-
think of
I'm-
this as
yeah, I'm gonna
training
help
and
you
it's going
guys
to
with
start
the-
swimming.
Okay. Yep.
Before I go underwater, I'm going to tell Sia to write my name in her book so she can talk to me while I'm underwater.
Yeah, she'll do that. She'll cross off her brother's name and put Erasmus in.
All right.
I will just be right back.
Okay, sure.
On your boards, Chris, is this Fort Island?
No, it's here. I'll send you back. Hold on. I'll
Man,
get you.
I'm having such trouble.
It's all right. There you go. You should come back now. All right, so I'm gonna take your miniature too.
Grazie.
I'm also gonna put the goggles over my eyes.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so you guys, so eventually everyone does make their way over. Now, first and foremost, tell me what you want to do scouting wise, Erasmus.
I'm over here. To your right.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I see you. Yep. Okay.
Just going to go like beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. So
beep,
the
beep.
first thing you notice, the first thing you really notice is that this side of the town was actually built on what looks like some older ruins. They look very similar to the ruins that you just came from. So this must be like the original structure of the town itself. Um, the other thing that you notice is there is a cliffside with multiple. It looks like there could be caves in there. You even find one of the entrances down here. There's a cave entrance down here. You're not sure how far it goes into though. But yeah, it looks like there is, a pretty big structure that you'd have to walk around to go through it. You do look above and you see that there is that church that he talked about. And there's not a ton of people over by the rock face over here. All the people are mostly concentrated by the ships. They're pulling items off and on. It looks like they're doing business. Looks like this is like the busy time where they're bringing in whatever trading or stockpiles that they're going through and trading with the merchants and of course with like the ships and everything. And they're busy with that. So far, no one's really taken any notice to any of you. As there's roughly right now 50 to 60 people walking around doing their own thing, unloading ships, looking at ledgers, talking amongst themselves. There's actually people in the town that looks like they're already buying things and going through. So it's relatively busy, thankfully for you guys. No one's noticed it yet.
Okay. I'm going to turn to Pam and be like, what do we do?
Yeah, this is the very first time you guys have seen some of the nicer, for most of you, I believe, seen some of the nicer mercantile ships. They're pretty nice. I mean, like these are nice looking ships. So there's clearly people with a ton of money that are coming into trade here. This boat here, that's not as big. One of the interesting things is it's got like what looks like a well affixed to the back of the boat, and you can't even begin to guess why that would be the case. And then this other boat has like some really fine carvings on it. It actually looks much nicer than what I could do in Tailspire. It's also got what looks like maybe even living quarters underneath it. You've never seen a boat this nice. For at least most of you haven't. And then this boat over on the side here looks like it's very functional. And is maybe a passenger ship of some kind. But
On the way over, Chris, would Sio have enough time to cast Disguise Self?
yeah, you would have enough time.
Okay. Then she will look absolutely like Sio typically would, body type wise.
Yep.
She's just gonna look like a very fair skinned, or no, she'll look more like Maximilian's complexion, kind
Yep.
of tannish.
Yep.
And she'll have freckles, and she'll give herself blue eyes and brown hair, not to stick out too much. And she forgot to change out of her super nice clothes shit.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yep,
Yeah,
cool.
so
Okay.
She'll just look like a normal human.
I am back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you guys kind of landed here on this landing. Now it's a little awkward where he puts you, and he even says, Sebastian says, uh, this is where I normally land, and I just like climb the cliff face. But guys, if you want, I can like put us back, and he points over to this direction here, and you guys can walk around. He said I generally do that because honestly, if you go through the docks, they make you charge a fee, and there's no way I'm gonna pay 5 silver to charge my to put my boat right next to it just so I can get out on the dock. So that's why I come over here. But if you want, I can bring you guys around if you can't climb the stone, which is he's pointing to here.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I should be fine climbing, but it's
And
up to you.
he says,
Yeah.
by the way, you guys have already made kind of a ruckus. Looks like somebody from town has already seen you from the way in. As a matter of fact, I think Gris was actually even sending people out. That's why I came early in the morning. So if he does, that'll be great because then he'll find no one. That serves him right. Idiot. And he goes back and he's like, but he's like, did you guys, I was thinking about it from last night. Like, how would you feel? And he like looks really timidly up at you guys. Like, could you guys use like a fisherman or a deckhand, or maybe I could like, I don't know, like prepare like your food for you or something?
You want to be a part of our alibi?
He said,
Is
I've
that what
always
you're
wanted to be an adventurer. I have always wanted to be an adventurer. I
But
could be really, really useful. Now, looking over him, he's unfortunately not going to be very useful. Um, but he very much wants to come with the group.
Sio will smile at him and just kind of tilt her head. But Sebastian, these people here know you. They would more than likely know you're not a part of our party.
Oh no. I meant like after you guys leave, if you could just if I could just like tag along and like see all the awesome stuff that you guys see.
We can consider it, but will not make promises. How about that?
He said that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
It is very dangerous, though. It's not all glory and free drinks.
Right. I don't think we've even had a drink the entire time we've been working.
No, you talked about it a little bit, but we never actually had any last night.
No, I forgot about it, to be
We
honest.
kind of got sidetracked.
Yeah, more important matters. Anyway, it's not fame and glory, like Umber said. It's very dangerous work, but we'll see how you muster up and stack up to the challenge of taking care of this place.
Yes, you can stick with us for the time being, but think about it. Think about how your mother would feel if you were to come with us and run away from her.
Right, and she needs you from the sound of it.
Yeah,
Especially if she's
he
sick.
says no, fair enough. Have you guys thought about maybe helping me with the grist problem though? Like I know you guys have like important things you're gonna go do and like forget all about this place, but I'm telling you, man, this guy is terrible.
I think we could deal with him.
Max chimes up and asks, the Gris problem?
He's a spiritual leader of sorts in town.
Yeah, he goes to you, Max. He's like, yeah, there's this guy in town that like basically makes us like it's a weird he's a kind of like a cult leader, to be honest. He like rules the town with an iron fist. We're not even allowed to really worship anything except for this thing called the drown god, and we're not allowed to really even know much about it. He kind of like leads the services. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. It's a really weird situation. Like I grew up in this. I'm like one of the only people in the town that tell people that this is messed up. Like everyone's like, no, this is the way it is. This is it's thankful, thank God we have Gris. Like it's an absolute nightmare. I'm like the only person in town that's even smart.
when Sebastian is describing all this, the party can probably notice that Max's fists are clenching ever so slowly but tightly to the point where you can see his veins are popping a bit, and
Well,
Max,
why don't we do this?
you go.
Why don't we promise that we would, and I'm saying this pretty quiet. We promised we would heal your mother. We'll do that just in case things go tits up with Gris. Okay?
He said you have no idea. He's like honestly, he's like if that's like I know I'm asking a lot, guys, and I know I'm asking a lot, even like you bringing me with you and everything. But if you could just heal my mom, like that's really the most important thing.
Why don't we look into that first?
Let's do it.
All right, so he does take you up over here. Uh, so the problem is that so most people are going to be fine. Gretna, you're going to have a hard time scaling this wall.
Yep.
Same thing. Uh, Actually,
Also,
I think it's only really Gretna that's going to have a tough time.
And let's see.
CO might. CO and Erasmus might too, actually. What am I saying?
Well,
Yeah.
Brass is actually going to go this way.
Okay.
Gretna can grab a hold of my neck and I'll carry her up.
Okay.
Pan, come
Okay.
on.
Pan, if you want to, you can
Yeah, and I
swim,
piggyback
Erasmus,
onto
yeah.
Mac more.
why the neck? Like my backpack.
But that's fine. We'll go through it. I'm not going to make you guys roll to go throughout this. You're just going to take your time and get up and scale the wall or find another way around, which is totally fine. And I will put your miniatures up
And do
here.
you see where we're at?
Yep, I do. Yeah.
We're just going to kind of slowly and stealthily kind of peek out and see what's going on.
All right. So, yep. So here, let's do this real quick. So first and foremost, so when you guys breach the town square like this, which is the area that you're in right now, this is mostly the square here. What you do notice is that there is in the middle of town what looks like Gretna, to you at least, this looks like a ritual like casting area. You're a little surprised. It looks like a kind of like a religious ceremony. There's fish bones, cattle bones, other different bones like basically strewn around, and they're definitely purposely put there. And you remember that Sebastian the kid was telling you that they're not really allowed to like worship things, but someone clearly is. Like there's definitely some kind of ritual going on here. This is a pretty busy area. There is a merchant stall here too. That's what this little thing is here. So right here, there's actually someone selling fish in a market, and they're actually going on and doing bids right now for the freshest catch. So that's what's happening here. Let me actually show you. So I'm just gonna put some placeholders up here, but there are four bidders right now going back and forth, and then there's a person in the stall that's basically calling out like the fish bids, and that's what's going on in your immediate area. For you guys over here, as you come in and start looking around, the first thing you notice is that this building here looks like it's some kind of like ship lumberyard. It looks like that's where maybe people come to do repairs or unload cargo on their ships. And there's a bunch of men coming back and forth with boxes and other things. There's also a guy that's like hastily like going back and forth counting up all the boxes on his ledger. You do see a decent amount, 20 to 30 people going back and forth, just like wandering around the town and doing like what looks like shopping over here in this district as well. So there must be other stuff going on. You do notice, you guys can see it from here. There's a tree there's a tree that's over here, and on the tree are very, very tiny skeletons all hanging from it. I couldn't rep it unfortunately until Spire. They're 6 to 8 inches, but there's a bunch of them just hanging on the tree itself. Anyway,
That
So-
looks interesting.
what you guys
Have
like
we
to do?
all walked in to the
Yeah,
city?
you're all up by this point. You can see what's going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, Erasmus, you guys might be able to just with a good stealth check actually skirt by these people, just because of the fact that they're all pretty engaged right now with trying to outbid each other.
I'm probably not going to do that because I have horrible luck at stealth.
Okay.
I'm also in giant metal armor.
Yeah. Yep. The other thing that you notice is that you can see it from here too. There is a shop that's built into this larger building, and it's over on this side here. There's some kind of shop going on. But anyway, so yeah,
I'm going to cast Disguise Self over my Guardian armor so that even
Yep.
though I'm still wearing it, I look like a 14-year-old kind of chubby human kid.
sure. Yep. Yeah, you can walk right out then and not be noticed. Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm wearing like really stereotypical fisherman clothes, like a little fisherman hat.
Yep.
But I still have my bag over my shoulder.
Yeah.
I
Sure
kind of
enough.
Pillsbury Doughboy right now.
And sure enough, it looks like it's coming from. If you guys look at my stream, it looks like it's coming from around here. You see 5 boats come up and land on the island, and what looks like 13 soldiers start getting out and start casing the whole island around here. Looks like Sebastian was right. Somebody was sending a welcome party out for you.
Looks like we got trouble.
Yeah.
They
I'll
have
go,
not noticed you yet, and they're scouting the island.
I'll go back to Pan. I'll tell her, shh, wait here for me. Or go to them. I don't know. I'm going to figure this out. Okay. Do, normal human kid. Do. Don't
Yep.
look at me. Do.
Yeah, you're able to pass them. They're really busy with what they're doing. As you get to that area, by the way, you see the whole other group. You see everyone else.
So you would just see like a chubby kid wearing a too tight shirt and a little sailor's hat walk around the corner. And I'll just stare at them. And then I remember that I don't look like me, and I'll just wave.
I'm invisible, and I'm just going to be looking around at the people. And
I mean,
Sure.
nothing's really stepping out. Nothing's really like super like weird to you right now. One of the things you do notice is that the people that are going back and forth are definitely hardier people. Matter of fact, some of them have the telltale signs of that darker like skin that's almost like Eskimo like that you saw in the north. What am I saying? You guys didn't see anything in the north. Sorry. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting that Tyler isn't Kino. So what am I saying? But no, you don't notice any of that. What you do notice though is that some people that are coming off this ship do actually have clothing that is actually like furs and other things that's uncharacteristic. It's not what you're normally used to seeing.
oh man, what did the Regids look like? I just remember a bunch of charred bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. They look like barbarian. I'll show you later, but yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
The little chubby kid just keeps walking towards you.
So they look like Mac Morn. Mac Morn's going to look for a longbow or something, or some type of missile weapon as he walks around.
Yeah, if you want to
Umbra-
walk around and start looking at the stalls and stuff to see if you can find a weapon, you can certainly do that, Macmore.
I'll just go up to see him and be like, it's me, Arasis.
Yes, thank you. Which way is your mother's house?
Wait, you're not
Sebastian?
surprised?
You look like
Umbra's
Little
also-
Mexican boy, I know.
where's Mexico? You look like
So-
Augustus Gloop.
No, I want to win.
So he does. So he's gonna take you guys. He's gonna take you guys over. Hold on 1 second.
I look like Chancho from Natural
Yep.
Libre.
That's what
So
I thought
he-
you were going for.
So yeah. So he's like, okay, guys, come on, and he points you over this direction here, and he's gonna take you through the town, and
Some shit.
he's
Bye.
he by the way, once he gets there, he's like, see what I mean? What, like, we don't even know what this crap is. Like, what's even going on here? And he starts pointing, and he goes over through.
Wait, Sebastian.
Yep, he comes back.
Where's you got like a someone that can buy shit around here?
Like a what? He says.
Like a trader or something, like a merchant that doesn't sell exclusively fish?
Oh yeah. He
There's no
says we've got some stuff. He's like he's like, here, if you want a tour, I can go through, and he points
Oh,
back out
I
to
don't
you.
need the whole tour, just like the thing I asked for.
He says, well, like, what are you looking for? What do you want to buy?
trying to sell a shitload of sapphires.
He says
They don't need place.
maybe over here, and he points over in this general direction. He's like, yeah, there's a general store and some other stuff, and he's like, you have sapphires?
Forget I
Theo
said
will-
anything.
Yeah, Sia will go between the two of them, and she will whisper low for only them to hear. Arasis, I don't think this is the kind of town that can take priceless gems.
Yeah,
don't
maybe one or two.
But even then, that would draw too much attention to us. We don't need that kind of limelight here.
And then I just look like a different person. It's fine.
Arasis, it's not. Please, just wait. You would get more money in another town anyway.
Well, let's just see what they got. And if they're too poor, we won't sell nothing.
All right, well,
Aren't
you
we
go and
trying
do
to keep
that.
a low
I'm going
profile?
to watch whatever this muck is. And then, Chris, could we also say that when Sia cast Disguise Self, she made her dress look very plain, like a sack
Yeah,
dress a
that's
peasant
fine.
woman would wear?
It is a spell, so yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
I'm just gonna go see what he's got. I'll be right
that's
back.
fine. I'll be by this pond thing, and Sia will just walk
It's
over
a
there.
bone pit. Silly.
Yeah, he does say, like, he's pointing to his Gretna. He's like, did you still want to come and see my mom, or?
Yeah, I'll go to your mom. I mean, I'll go heal your mom.
Yeah.
We've
So
done it before.
all right.
Problem,
So he's gonna take you all the way up here, and sure enough, Gretna,
Can you
you
try
guys.
and get me into the stream? I can't get onto Tailspire. Could you possibly?
Oh yeah.
Chris, as we're passing the bone pit,
You guys can see my screen too, right?
yeah.
yes.
Okay, cool.
Seems to be something wrong with my computer, I guess.
Chris,
Yeah,
as
no
we're
worries.
passing the
Yep.
bone pit, can I just look it over to see if I see any like runes or symbols or
Yeah,
any
of course.
evidence?
Make an Arcana check. No, of course. Yeah,
Can I-
make an Arcana check, and then
Could I possibly deduce what religion it is?
well, that's what I was gonna say. Religion is better for this, but make an Arcana check for now. And Gretna, you can certainly make a religion check.
16.
Gretna guidance on her religion check and assist Umbra with his.
Ooh. All right,
Yep.
so let's.
Also, could you open this door for me, Chris?
That's
Yeah, yep.
16. plus
16.
The
Let's see where
guidance.
you are.
How much would the
Yeah.
guidance be? Can you roll the guidance?
Yeah, I'll roll it for you.
I'm trying to find someone to talk to, but I can't open the door.
1.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's a 17. That's still pretty good.
The NPCs aren't in yet though, so. But
That's a 16 for me on Arcana.
Hello. Hello.
Are you knocking on doors? Or-
yeah, so you. By the way, I just wanted you to get in there to see it. You knock on the door and nobody answers yet. It's actually not a merchant's house anyway, but I did that so you could look at it though. But all right.
Oh,
But
I- Rolled in general.
yeah, it's fine. What did you get, Greta?
I got a 16 plus a 1 from CO, so that's a 17 altogether.
and I also got
Alright.
a 16.
All right.
And I'm going back to
This
dice
is
rolls.
this is actually a ritual site, and it is a sacrificial ritual site, and it does look like this was a ritual done to Umberly. And the reason why you know that it was done for Umberly is because the bone patterns actually point to the goddess's symbol. But what's interesting, now that you got a 17, what's interesting about this is that it's more than animal bones as you sift through the bones. The animal bones are just the bones on top. Sure enough, you start to go through and look at it. This is some kind of weird blood sacrifice. And it looks like people could very well have been involved in this. And
There are like human bones
and-
underneath the animal bones.
yes, and not all of them are adult size. There's even smaller
Mm.
bones that you assume might even be children. And this is a ritual set up specifically to appease Umberly, so that their town isn't washed away, presumably, or ships aren't bashed through the rocks, or something else, but this is specifically set up to make Umberly happy. And
Uh-huh.
it's not just animals. Yeah.
This is awful.
Now, here's the other thing, Greta. You're actually a little surprised in another aspect of this. This is a higher level ritual that's being done. It's this is a secret arcane ritual to try to get either an audience with Umberly or get Umberly's attention, but this is not something that like a normal yokel priest could ever perform. This is some other shit going down. You don't know exactly what it was for, what its purpose was, but it's definitely something else like that. So what was your Arcana check?
16.
Okay. You notice that there is absolutely some residual like not only magic that's going through this thing, but there's also what looks like potentially just because you're so familiar with like you've been so familiar with them in Tovag or whatever, you think that there could even be some like curses going on. Like maybe that's the point of something like this. Maybe it allows the like once the ritual goes off, maybe you get favor with Umberly and you're able to do something like curse someone maybe or something like that, but you're not entirely sure. Um or do something into those regards. Anyway, he does take like he sees you going through it and he's like, oh yeah, don't worry, it's just like cows and stuff. But I know everyone looks at that and we're like, oh man, that looks really creepy. But it's like I don't know why, but they drown cows and they drown these you know I've seen them drown birds and other things. It's so stupid.
Wait,
Like that's
look,
gonna do anything or help anything. But
it's not just animal bones in there.
It's not just animal bones. And I spit on it. I said there's also
Maybe no.
bones.
Maybe
he says
not spit on.
he says what? He says what? He goes through and starts looking at it. He's like, really?
Just wanna make it see-
Yeah, really.
He's like, see, I told you. It's oh. He said he said see this whole place is like so messed up. And
Not
he
just-
yeah.
Not just adults. Children too.
Well, look, maybe we can cut the head off the snake.
Yeah. He says, well that's he said that's kind of weird though, because like I gotta be honest, like if he was like as much as I hate the guy, if he was like drowning people or children stuff, like if it was the people in town, I mean, like kids would be disappearing or like people would be disappearing. Like
You
if
said
that happened,
people
I
were
certainly
disappearing.
yeah, but not kids. Like how many people are we looking at? Like this is like kind of strange. Like I thought the Gris was like weird and yeah, the people disappearing by the way. And he said, "What was your name again?"
Me?
Yeah, he's
Gretna.
talking to me. He said, "Greta, I wasn't talking about the guy killing people. I thought that what was happening when people were disappearing was that he was putting them in jail underneath the church.
I'm just
Like, are
gonna
you
clap
serious?
a
Like he's
hand
really
over his
killing
mouth
people?"
as he's saying all this out in the open.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
he is saying it all on the open.
I'm just
yeah.
going to clap a hand over his mouth while invisible and just go, we'll talk about this at home. Shut it.
Yeah, he like muffledly goes, "Oh, okay," and he does bring you guys over. By the way, he starts showing you here. This is his house. It is by far the most dilapidated. He doesn't even have a proper roof in this house. He is dirt poor. He has the worst house in the entire city, and there are not many houses. Um, he like sheepishly brings you guys to his house, knowing that the house is not the nicest. Um, and he says, so here's our house. And sure enough, it is a 3-story building. On the very top floor, you guys don't have to even get into it, but on the very top floor is where his mom is. Um, they have taken thatch and other like canvases to try to keep the rain out, but she's actually, if you look on my stream, she's actually in this bed here on the top. And sure enough, Gretna, as you walk in, you actually even smell the telltale signs of this disease and sickness.
Mhm.
You know that it, by the way, the church has learned that this is actually transferred via like basically it's very similar to pay. Like for instance, it has to be like fleas or other things that have been bitten. It's transferred by someone's blood. These guys don't know that, but you kind of understand that. Um, you can cure this. So when you get upset, she's pretty far gone. You could still do it. You could still cure this. However, you're gonna need some local materials before you do so. But it's curable. She's not dead
Boy.
yet. Yep. So
Not dead yet.
yeah, so this is what you're gonna have to find. You're gonna there's two specific routes you're gonna have to find. You know that for sure that you can find them like locally. You've done this before, by the way. This is not something. Well, you heard me from last time. This is not something that's like public knowledge. Also, you're going to also need you're gonna need some of like the local water as well. These are all things you could do in a day. So if you want to take the time to get everything like set up, it is a ritual that you have to do. The ritual takes 4 hours, by the way. But this is the ritual casting you're going to do. It's not just healing. You will have to expend a slot for you are gonna have to like let me look and see what the spell is, sorry. Hold on 1 second. What's your what are your what's your most potent healing spell right now, Gretna, at level 8? What's it called?
Mass healing word. I've got Lista Resto, remove curse,
Lesser restoration, I'm
revivify.
sorry. Yeah, so you're gonna need to do lesser I'm sorry, it's
Okay,
lesser
I have that
restoration.
prepared, fortunately.
Yeah. So this is gonna take up a lesser restoration, and on top of that, like I said, you're gonna have to do the ritual to go through it as well.
Okay.
Um, this just keep in mind that if you do end up healing her, you you the church does not like this, obviously, and it needs to be kept quiet.
Yeah, Sebastian, can you keep your mouth shut?
He says, What do you mean? Like, you mean like?" He's like, "I'll do anything if you help my mom."
Okay, just don't tell anybody what I'm doing.
Sure, no, of course.
Good.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
I tell everybody this is gonna take. Just leave me here. I've got to go. Oh, and get some water. I give like a little like if I can
List, yeah.
delegate some things
Yeah,
for
of
people
course.
to get.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything you need is local, so it's really easy to get. It's just going to take a day. And then of course you need to do your 4-hour ritual, and then of course you're going to have to take your greater restoration up, or lesser
It's
restoration.
the
I mean,
lesser resto, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yep, I'll definitely
Um,
cast that up right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
What kind of route did you say you needed? And is this local, or do we need to go to the market?
So it's no route, and you can actually literally find it. If Gretna can give you, Gretna can find it herself. She's had to do this before. She's had to forge it herself. But what she can do, and you guys have to make survival checks once you get out into it. But it's like basically even within this town, if you start foraging through trees and stuff, you'll probably be able to find it. If you can't for whatever reason, you just have to go out into any of the major forests, so you'll be able to find it. But we're gonna see if you find it within the town. There's enough greenage here within the town, where my light is and everything else, that you'll probably be able to get what you need. But we're gonna find out.
Okay, if you can't find it, let me know. I'll go get it.
Yep.
All right. And I go down
So,
and I
so
say a
Greta,
prayer.
here's what you also know.
Thanks.
If this disease had progressed for another 3-4 months, mom would be dead. So
Mhm. Okay. I lean down. I don't know if I wait, if I lean down, I may be too low down. I'm pretty short. I sit on the bed.
yep.
And I start.
She, by the way, she does. She's actually a pretty nice woman. She's coughing right now. She's got a high fever. She doesn't look that great. She smells terribly, but
Mhm.
she's a very very nice woman, Gretna. You start having a conversation with her, and she's even happy that her son's out going through it. She does tell you as you go through this. We'll do the other stuff, but Gretna, for the time that you're going through, she does tell you that she one of the pieces of information that she has on this entire thing is that she remembers that you ask her like how she first became ill or whatever. She became ill literally a couple years back was when she first started doing it, but it all she thinks it started from when she oversaw Grist doing something over in like the bone pit or whatever, and then she immediately fell ill. So she's always thought that's been like a bad omen, or she's been very unlucky because of that. But
Gives
yeah.
her first open.
Yep. All right,
Um,
guys. So what do you want to do while Gretna's helping?
I am gonna tell her that once she's
Yep.
healed, to still pretend she's sick and to like pretend that she's slowly getting better instead of just all of a sudden pop, I'm better.
She told, yeah, of course she will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's by the way incredibly thankful. Like she's not even worried about dying, she tells you. She's just mostly worried about her son. She wants to be around, make sure that he doesn't like, starve to death. So, and she'll be able to start working after this too, which is a huge help. So, yeah.
I just need to go get Pan or tell someone where Pan is. She's hiding in the corner, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna try to just then I'm just gonna try to find whoever owns this shop. I wandered through this alleyway back here. I don't know if he's to check the back. I don't know if they're behind it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go where you are. Yeah.
Yeah. If
All right.
Arasis,
Yeah. No. There. Go ahead.
sorry.
Yep.
If Arasis told Sio, because Sio told Arasis she was going to go look at this bone pit. If so, he knows where she is. If he goes to tell Sio, this is where, like, tell Pan this, she'll put Pan's name in her book and communicate with her what's going on.
Okay. Perfect. Who's gonna help go get the roots? By the way, is he gonna be CO
Max
and
will help.
CO and
will.
Max? Okay. All right.
Yeah, but
If you
Max
guys,
give him a little smile.
if you, just make an overall survival check, and then you can do I don't think you have any other proficiencies that would if you have foraging or anything that your character had or anything you took from the feed or whatever, just let me know, but otherwise just do your nature checks.
I'm pretty good with nature if you need it.
Yeah.
Is it nature or survival?
You can do either. You can try to do
Okay.
Max, you can do a survival check.
Yeah.
They find different things, but
9.
okay.
Sio will give him advantage, and she will also give him guidance because he, while an orphan, no experience foraging. Period.
Okay. All right, so Arasis, you while they're doing that, so you're over here. Yeah, so here's something that's interesting. So you go through and you find this area. There's no shop back here. However, one of the things that you do notice is there's this contraption. And by the way, no one's back here right now, although you've seen people come back and forth and you see that there are other people over on the other side. This contraption here looks like it looks like the lanterns are basically on the swivel. This thing moves. You'd have no idea what this is for, but it like slowly rotates. And it doesn't look like it's like done like rotating by gears or anything else. It's just like there's just like basically a pivot here on the bottom, and it's just meant to like like you can't even begin to guess like why this thing exists.
Could I make a Tinker's check to determine?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Also, I'll volunteer to do the other half, which was like get water or something. I can
Yeah,
do that.
yeah. You can just literally get the
19.
seawater. All right, cool. So it looks like this
I got a
is tied.
24 on my survival as well.
Actually, I'm sorry. I get to double my proficiency for Tinker's check. 22.
22. Okay. All right. So it looks like this device is tied to other devices within the town. this is set up as some kind of secret puzzle thing, or like basically this is an activator switch to open up something around the town that you haven't figured out yet. You do think though that if you dug underneath this and like basically got to where the gears were underneath, you could totally figure this out. But again, digging around this area, it's going to be hard to like cover your tracks. You need to break the stone that's underneath it and really figure this out. But you've never seen anything like it. It's like maybe the town is like some giant like device or something. It's very strange. That said, you start messing around with it and you realize that it has some locking positions into it, and you figure out where you can at least get this piece to set up to potentially like set up whatever the next piece is. You think it's gonna like open a hole or something. You don't even know though. But this is definitely impressive to you. You're like, holy crap! Like this is not mundane stuff. Somebody really knew what they were doing when they created this thing.
When I stomp my foot on the ground, does it sound hollow beneath it, or does it sound like solid stone?
No, it's unfortunately it sounds like solid stone. You're gonna have to really like put effort in if you want to like get to what's underneath the gears and everything.
No, I'm not fucking with it. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go wring Sebastian's little neck for lying to me. There's no one over here.
Yeah, there's no one on this side. However, once you start walking through and getting to like basically the other areas on, like you see Sebastian's house, like that's where like Red Hunter walked in going through it. But then you see, oh wait, so there's the area there. And then you start like walking around and you see other, like you start following other people. And what he meant, apparently what he meant to tell you is the place over here is where you can find wherever you're gonna find like stuff to purchase. So you eventually get over there, and it's over in this direction here, and it looks like so it looks like first and foremost over on this side there's a fishery where you can buy all kinds of different fish, and then up here, yep, and then up here it looks like there's a mundane armor smith. Here, I'm going to open the door for you. So it looks like there is an armor smith in there. And he does sell general goods. He sells adventuring gear as well. There's nothing like super, like it's literally mundane adventuring gear. He does have plate mail, which is semi-impressive for a town this size. But it's a bunch of leather armor. He only has one shoot of plate mail. It's 1,600 gold pieces if you were interested, which I doubt you are. And then he does have some other like leather goods and leather armor.
I would like to see if he will buy one of my sapphires.
Yeah. So you take out the sapphire. What do you tell him? And how much do you want for it? Because he doesn't give you a price. He says he actually says it's an older gentleman. It looks like he was probably like a sea merchant. He has a pretty grizzled look. It looks like he actually is wearing like a captain's hat. And he says, when I haggle, I don't set a price first. You're gonna do that, young man. You're still the 14-year-old, right?
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna have to give me a price, young man. How much do you think that gem is worth?
Well, from a meta perspective, when we found them, we did the stone check, and we were told they're valued at 1,000 apiece.
Right,
I
that is correct.
We did that, but
That is correct. Yeah, that's your guess, though. That is your guess.
I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna, like I've heard in like adventure novels. I'm gonna write down on a piece of paper 700 gold and slide it across the table to him face down.
Okay.
Overly dramatic for no reason.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's like, young man, he's like, it's not even worth 100 gold pieces. What would you even do with 700 gold pieces? But he says, I'm gonna have a hard time selling this. So, listen, I'll give you more gold than you have ever had, I'm sure, in your entire life. And he takes out 50 gold pieces. He's like, I'm feeling generous. I'll give you 50 gold. You give me your gem.
No deal, sir. No deal.
He says, are you sure?
Very
It's a
sure.
lot of gold. You could buy a lot of candy and a lot of other things with all this money.
I will take the 2 birds in the bush instead of the 1 bird in the hand, because then I would have 2 birds. So good day.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I assume you like waddle off and he looks kind of dejected. He does not have a counter offer though.
I said good day, and I walk out.
I'm gonna walk down to the water line. I'm gonna get I'm gonna fill up a water skin with sea water, and I'm gonna get Pan. Check on her.
Okay.
Check on them.
Yep.
50 gold. I just come back muttering and cursing and angry. 50 fucking gold. Scrooge McDuck over here pissing me off.
Do you still look like a Triton?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to take the water, that is what Gretna asked for.
Yes. Quickly follow me. Try to be quiet. I feel like I take my cloak off and I throw it over them. And I
Yeah,
like
and the 24, by the way, from Max, you are able to get the roots, so you guys can start making your way back to Gretna.
I go and I just sit huffily next to CEO. And I just keep saying 50 gold, my tail. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
No.
foraging in the woods currently, so
Damn it. Never mind.
if you find her, she'll listen, but
No,
she-
I'm just going to sit. I'm going to sit on a rock and pout.
Mac
Yep.
Morn's gonna try to find that bow, and do I eventually make it
So
over
that-
that same
yeah,
armor?
I was gonna say, yeah, you can. You absolutely can. So
Because I can
he-
use that plate armor.
yeah, I mean, it's 1,600 gold for the plate armor, and then he also has a fine bow. It's just a standard longbow, but it's made pretty well. He does have one. He also has a crossbow. The bow is only 5 gold. The crossbow is 3 gold.
I'll offer him 1550 for the longbow, 40 arrows, and the plate mail. I assume we have money, right? We've been getting a lot.
We have like no money. All our money is tied up in things.
Yeah,
what do we want?
No, we had money.
you do have gold, but yeah.
I have not been aware of it then this entire time.
yeah. Yeah, we have
Oh.
hella
Okay then.
keep it in
Okay.
group inventory. We don't really keep it in personal inventories.
I have 9 gold.
I have 70.
I'll visit Greta first
If this
and
many.
grab the money and.
Oh. Also, Chris, would it be all right if I sat on a short sword while I was there?
Yeah, you can buy a short sword. It's just 5 gold.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, I offered him 1550. Does he take it for the bow, arrows, and plate?
No, but he does say that if you offer him 1,600 gold, he will give you the bow with the yeah. He'll give you the bow for free, and you can take the suit of armor.
If
I'll do it.
Macmillan, did you find a shop that sells goods? It's decently priced here.
Okay.
Oops.
They're not decently priced. They're a little high, I think. But
Did they have any
Couple-
paper or
5%.
ink? I'm looking for some fine
at
quality
General
paper.
Goods.
Okay, let me see. I want when you pay, I want to peruse.
Chris, I'm going back to the seawall and I'm watching that island in case those ships start coming this way.
Okay. All right.
If CEO runs into Umbra as he's going to get his supplies, he will humbly request that he get her an inkwell,
Well,
and his nice fancy magic paper.
and some fancy magic paper in quotations. Yes, I will look and I will see if I can get any gold value that you want, that you need to perform something.
Well, whatever price magic paper they have, I'm just worried I'm gonna run out of pages in my journal, so I think I'm gonna need, magic paper for my magic journal. So I guess whatever they have. If any, I don't know if a town like this would have it.
You want to go back to the merchant that Macmorn purchased stuff from?
Yes, I'm gonna head back there and see how much like fine quality paper and ink.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you walk in, you do walk into the merchant, and he's like slumped over in a chair, looking down, going through it. You notice that he has like gold in his hand that he's been counting or whatever, but he's motionless. So Umbra, as you start to like, as you start to like inquire about what he's actually selling, what he's got going on for wares, you notice to your horror that it does not look like the guy is breathing. His eyes are open. It looks like he has died.
Time to go. I'm leaving the shop. I saw nothing. This is bad. This is fucking really bad.
Yeah. So you do walk out, but yeah, he's got the gold in his hand, counting it, and it looks like he is not living.
This was the shop Macmorn just came from?
I am stealthing. I am immediately. I don't have my cloak on me. It's on Pan. I am in this. Oh, I haven't moved my mini. It's in the shop. I didn't know exactly where the shop was, but it would be there.
It's here. It's here. The shop's right here. Actually, I'm putting the light on it. You guys can see the light, right?
This is the shop with the plate armor.
Correct. This is the shop with the plate armor. This right here. You guys see my light, right?
I'm gonna
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
quickly and quietly move back to Macmorn and go, Macmorn, you won't fucking believe this. The plate armor's not free. Also, the guy is fucking dead. I didn't kill him though. I know that sounded bad. I didn't kill him.
No,
He's
well,
dead.
so that's the thing. Macmorn's already purchased the plate armor, unfortunately, but he's got Macmorn's gold in his hands right now, though. You could like go back and take it, of course.
Did I hear or see anyone else in the shop?
No,
Assisted.
no one else was in the shop at the time.
That's an insult. to
Everyone. Macmorn, you didn't kill him, did you?
Macmorn.
If I did, you didn't see me kill him.
I mean, that's a stupid question. You would have taken the gold. No, look, we have to go back there. He was killed. He was killed by something or someone. This is bad news. He's just slumped there. Gretna.
Yeah, I mean, no one's noticed he's dead yet. You could certainly go back and try to figure out what happened.
Gretna.
Do you want to go back and check?
I want to go back. What the fuck happened? We leave him alone for like 2 fucking minutes.
Right. Well, go ahead.
I'm
Let's
gonna
get some
cast
more.
invisibility on myself. I brought back the water and everything, but I want people to go with me because I'm scared.
Okay.
Or Umbra's scared.
Yep.
All right, be
Alright.
careful.
Grab the water and continue to perform the ritual.
Okay. Yeah. So this is gonna take you. You're gonna be there for at least 4 hours, Gretna,
yeah.
doing the starting. All right.
Mm,
So here's what happens, Umra. You go back in, and you get a closer look now. So first and
I'm there
foremost,
with
which yep, in Macmorn you see this too. First and foremost, you notice that his hands, where it's touching the gold, his palms, they've all been blistered up, and his skin is slightly black where he's touched the gold that Macmorn gave him. Not to mention the fact that his eyes look like they are darker than they should be, even from like dying or whatever. They're like not only dim but like maybe even blacker than you would expect. And then Umbra, and this is I assume without touching him, when you look, you can also tell that like his face is contorted in like agony, like this literally just happened, and whatever killed him wasn't a nice thing.
I don't think our gold's any good.
You want to do you can do some, you can, if you want to do a check, let me know. Just tell me how you want to go about that.
Can I do an Arcana check to see
Yeah.
if this looked like a
Yeah.
spell or a curse?
Sure. Go ahead.
Nat 1.
Yeah. You honestly don't even know. I mean, the only guess you have is that maybe walking around with cursed gold, but you have no idea.
Mackmore, did anything happen when you paid for the gold before you handed it over? Because that
And
looks
and
like
and Macmorn, you relay that you gave him the gold. I mean, you were touching it. Nothing happened to you. He seemed fine. Super happy that he made a big purchase, but no, you didn't notice anything.
Mackmore.
With a rag or gauntlets, I'll take back all the gold and put it in the money pot.
Sure, sure, yeah, yeah. So you do take back the gold as you're prying it from his hands. By the way, you notice that yeah, sure enough, the gold where the gold has touched his skin, it has reacted very poorly.
Leave
There's
like
blisters and other things. Yeah.
you don't
What a
have to take every
sale.
single piece. You don't have to take every single piece. You can just like leave some of. Just leave
I don't
like,
want
a
it to
little
be
bit.
traced back to us.
Oh, fine.
Now, granted, you guys start looking around. Yeah, I mean, this guy, like, fortunately, it doesn't look like he has family members that are living, but he does have a house upstairs. That said, fortunately, no one else is in the shop currently. But yeah, he's dead. There's nothing you could do at this point to revive this guy. He's far gone.
You think of any way we can hide this body? I'm gonna move him to under a tarp or
Yeah, and
something.
it's actually pretty alarming when you start to put your hands on him. Rigor mortis is already set in, but it's pretty dramatic. Like this guy's like almost like a stone. It's
How long has it been? And rigor mortis is already set in. How long has it been?
no, it's only been minutes. It shouldn't
Oh
be.
my gosh.
It shouldn't. And even you know that, Macmorn. You're not even they're not skilled in any of this, but you know when people die, they don't just become stiff like this. Yeah, it's unnatural.
Well, curse gold,
I-
I guess. I'm
I have
thinking.
so many
I'm gonna
fucking
just
questions.
Cover him up.
We need to have a long talk with everyone because if this is a problem with that gold,
I think we just bought that kid a store.
no, we don't give that to anyone. We don't give the gold to anyone. Why are you talking about giving?
He gave us a boat ride. Let's give him a store.
I look around for any paper and ink. What the fuck?
Yeah, so to go ahead and do an investigation check through his shop because now you guys
Oh,
have
look at
free
his
access to
pocket
it.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. So go ahead and do an investigation check. First and foremost, as you're looking through, he doesn't have anything that would help. So yeah, you case everything. The one thing that
27.
the one thing that you do find is he does have a safe. There is a hidden safe within the house. You're gonna have to crack it open if you really want access to it. It's actually a safe that was purchased from the shop is Tinkertel. And since she rolled so high, I'll let you read something somewhere, but it's actually a safe that's made in Neverwinter, and they're made specifically to not be cracked, which means there's something valuable inside, probably gold. Probably from this thing, but you don't know that for sure. Other than that, though, everything he has is mundane. There's literally nothing that can be used for, like, he doesn't have incense, doesn't have magic paper, or anything else. He does have, like, all of his stuff. If you were to steal everything, he's probably got 5 to 10,000 dollars worth of merchandise in here, which is quite a bit for a town like that's out in the middle of nowhere essentially. But so this is probably indeed probably the largest, if not one of the largest shops.
How much? How big is the actual
We're gonna
safe?
put
Is
the
it like?
close sign up.
So the big so the safe is 3 feet high, and it's 2 feet wide.
I'm putting the close sign out and locking the door.
There is actually a wooden close sign, and you can, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And there's
Oh.
nothing on his body, right? No little money pouch, rings, anything like that.
Why are we?
No.
Why are we
Yeah. So
robbing?
if you start looking at his body, no, this is a wealthier merchant. He has 3 or 4 very nice rings, that look like they're all ruby and gold. He also does have a gold pouch on him as well.
Well,
Are we?
Hmm.
Are we robbing this man right now? That's what we're doing? This is the plan.
well, he's dead.
The jewelry looks really cool, but fuck.
I like how Umbra's the moral compass, having cased this guy's entire place.
Should we just throw this
I'm
whole safe
chaotic
in the bag?
neutral, so I'm gonna take all its valuables.
Look,
That's
I
fine,
w-
Macmorn. If you want to, you can start taking his rings off. Yeah, that's fine. It's a little
I'm
Make
not-
the
tough because, like I
fingers
said,
break real
yeah.
easy.
Are those ships
Oh.
moving, Chris?
The ships, yeah, there are ships. They're not ships that have left the port yet, but But yeah,
meant
this-
on the other island.
sorry.
I'm keeping watch while invisible.
Yeah, I was watching the other island to see if the ships were coming over here. With all
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. So they're still casing the whole island. They're pretty confident that you're still over there. They have not come back here yet.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
go join the rest of the group.
Okay.
Well,
Are you guys going back? Gotcha. So you're going into the shop?
Oh my God, Pan, what did you do? As I see the body.
Shut the fuck up. We don't know what happened. There's Curse Gold. We might be robbing him, but I don't. Shut the door.
What? Curse
Shut the
Gold?
door.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't buy anything. I can't
Look.
open the door.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
Go away. Go. Shoot.
Yeah.
You just
It's a mess in there anyway, but yeah, so this is what you notice when you come in. The thing that you do notice is that you see that he was in distress when he died. He has blisters all over where they've taken like gold things out. You walk in seeing Macmorn literally stealing his jewelry. So what Macmorn is taking like his rings off of him or whatever as well. But yeah, he died a pretty horrible death.
that's
If
awful. That's
while I'm keeping watch, I'm keeping an eye out, but I'm just ritual casting detect magic as I'm making sure no one enters or exits the store, even though it's closed. I'm like peeking out from behind a curtain while
Yeah,
invisible.
You're on top. Yeah, that's fine. You're in this top window here trying to go out. You do notice, by the way, there's a close line. Two people have already come by the shop walking around, but they just passed it because they saw the close sign going through. One of them was actually out here going through and looking at the area because they saw Erasmus go in. And they've now knocked on the door. What do you guys want to do?
I don't answer it.
Yeah, you just want to.
I'm just
So,
gonna
yeah,
motion to be quiet.
Yeah, that's fine. If you guys, if it's after 15 minutes or so, they also leave.
They look official, guardsmen or anything like that.
No. These are people looking to buy stuff.
Can you let me
Yeah.
out of here? I want to leave.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I've so yeah. By the way, it's 10:30 now anyway. So
I'm running.
we'll stop it there. But yeah, you'll just have to think of what you want to do. Obviously, like people will have to think about what the actual situation is
Yeah,
next time.
fucking
So
back-
Macmorn, you took the 4 rings off of him. Did you try to take anything else?
Do you want to throw the
Anything
whole
that looks-
safe in the bag of holding?
Possible that could be magic items or jewelry or
So
anything unusual.
no, there wasn't anything like that. But you did take his money pouch too. Then you totally robbed the guy.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Yeah, he's got 70 gold on him. So
Does anything in the room pop up as magic if I cast detect magic?
no, there was nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you cast it, that's yeah. No magic items. So Gretna, you've been going through this ritual now for like 30-40 minutes. You still have plenty of time left when we stop it. So all right guys. So yeah, we'll stop it there and then we'll start exactly here next time.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah,
Great.
so
Just like how did this happen? So welcome, Maximilian.
Bargaining way.
You're in it now.
I'm in it for the long haul.
yeah, things will Group A has seen this too. Things will definitely start ramping once you guys hit a hook. But the reality is that there's like a shit ton of distractions like everywhere. So don't feel bad. Like, yeah, like Maximilian, this is one thing that you'll be able to do as well. Like you'll see the way the campaign is built is that because you're not currently within a specific module and there's several different modules that are running concurrently, You just decide what you want to do, literally, and then you'll figure out when it'll be really obvious. Like, I don't think Group B has actually hit any hook at all besides the Tomb of Horrors. So you guys haven't even hit an official hook yet. Group A has only really hit one, and then hit a bunch of like, kind of like half ones that they haven't even like gone through. But you'll see. Like, if you guys want to, you could literally just leave the town, and that's fine. So.
Don't worry, we're about to.
Yeah.
No, the hell we're not.
Yes, we are.
Theo's brother could very well be under that church, and she will dig him out if she has to.
Okay. Well, probably not, but okay.
Wait,
Possible.
this town?
Nith isn't that far from here. I wanted to ask Sebastian.